Looking for music that lifts your spirit and fills your heart? Experience the powerful sound of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square. Now streaming on all your favorite music platforms. Find the Tabernacle Choir on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Pandora. Let the music of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square inspire you today and every day. Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the go, enjoy the beauty of their world-renowned sound anytime. The Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square, streaming now.
Today is a new day.
Today is a new day.
Today is a new day.
Today, as you know, is a very big day.
Big day.
Big day.
Big day.
Big day for me. And a big day for you.
Why?
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 Today's Friday.
That's why.
That's why.
Good enough for me. Have fun, guys.
All right. It's showtime.
Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Welcome in on a Friday morning. Well, the Las Vegas Summer League is underway, and that is a very different game for your Utah Jazz. They got beat after 3 straight wins in Salt Lake City. The Wizards came out with a couple guys that had really good games. Trey Johnson's played in the league, and he was really strong. A.J. Dybantsa, who was obviously not played in the league, but the number 1 pick in the draft, had an impressive game. He came out and really took it to the Jazz. And really what we saw against the in BYU against Big 12, especially late in the season, just determined to get to the glass. Just absolutely determined to drive to the rim again and again and again and again and again. Did not shoot the 3 well, but ended up having a productive game. 27 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. For Darryn Peterson, too many turnovers, 8 of them again, game high. He did finish with 21 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists on 6 of 18 shooting. And for Dybantsa, he was 7 of 18. Both guys showed that it's really difficult to contain them one-on-one. Because of that, Peterson did see a lot of double teams, the blitzes, guys running at him. That'll be harder to do based on who he's on the floor with in the regular season, but, it's hard to leave Markkanen in double. It'll be hard to leave Keontae George in double. You get the picture. A couple other things happened. Ace Bailey, apparently there's some kind of back problem that they referenced on the broadcast, so he didn't play in the game. And then, ironically, after Peterson had cramps that cost him, famously several games and parts of other games, A.J. Dybantsa left the game with the game hanging in the balance. And he left with less than 2 minutes to go and sat out, and now it's being described as a leg cramp on the broadcast in a postgame. He said it was just sore and he'd be fine, but I've read reporting about a cramp later on. Kind of ironic when you think about it. So, we can nitpick and pull this apart. Dybantsa had a great rim-rattling dunk. There were flashes of good defense from Peterson as he deflected passes or shots and really helped the Jazz in good comeback. They were terrible early on. They scored the first bucket. They gave up 10 in a row, and then it was uphill the rest of the way. They were down double digits at points. They got it to 8, to 6. They kept scrambling. They got it to 3, but they couldn't get over the hump and win the game. So, not that that really matters in the Summer League. Now they get a couple days off and see if everyone can get healthy, get rested, and they will play the Clippers Sunday night. That game will not be on ESPN. That game will be on Amazon Prime Sunday night. I think it's at 8 o'clock. So, there you go. All right, for more on this game, let's hear from the man himself. Here's Darryn Peterson after the game.
Darryn, is it crazy to kind of look around the game and see that many NBA stars, former NBA stars sitting around the crowd?
Yeah, I think we had a good crowd today. I've seen a lot of NBA guys. I actually was talking a little bit with Anthony Davis in the game, which was crazy to me.
Is that someone that you're like, I can't believe that I'm going to be playing against him when it comes
to No more like starstruck because now I'm part of the NBA, but it was just cool to see them there.
Darryn, a lot of doubles thrown at you off the screens in the corner center today. What do you think about the pressure? How do you feel about it?
I didn't feel no type of way about it. That was a game plan. We lost, so it probably worked a little bit, but I'm expecting it. So good to get used to it now, play against it now, and just grow. There's still Summer League, so looking forward to the season and the rest of Summer League.
How old were you when guys started doubling you?
I don't know, as long as I can remember.
Go ahead, Dave.
Late in the first half, you were calling an ISO on AJ and tired. Woke up, people on their feet, a lot of noise. while you were focusing on getting the stop, how much of that other stuff?
Never. Nothing ever bothers me.
At all?
No. Not while I'm hooping, no.
Did you look forward to the opportunity, even though this isn't a you versus AJ game, it's your team versus team, but just had the opportunity to get
I'm over the game? Yeah, look forward to every game we play. Obviously, this one was a bigger one. So, but yeah, I was looking forward to it.
Is that something that you're going to be thinking about, like, during your career? Like, is that something you're going to be thinking about, like, that was the guy that taken ahead of me? Yeah, I say that all the time. I think every draft, every year, people are saying this guy went ahead of me, I'm going against them. But like I said before, the draft's over now. Like, it is what it is. I'm part of Utah Jazz. I'm super happy about that.
Darryn, there were 3 or more players with 8 or more fouls in this game.
I was one of them. I had 9.
Yeah, you were one of them.
Yeah.
How are you doing so far with that level of physicality?
I think I'm doing fine. The whistle's different. I talked to the players. The whistle's different from summer league and regular season. So, yeah, they told me I had 10. It was a physical game, so I was going out with 9. So that's what I did.
How do you think you adjust to the speed of the game, particularly on defense and in transition? Got
to be better in both. But that's part of growing. It's a summer league, so still adjusting. But yeah, I got to be better. You too.
Playing these last 3 games, you've seen a different defensive coverage every single game. How has it been for you in game 3, already seeing several different coverages and different looks for yourself?
It's been good. I'm back having fun. I wasn't really experiencing that as much as at Kansas. I was off it a ton, so just to feel like myself again. And, being on the ball, that's what comes with it, being double teamed and different coverages. So keep adjusting.
Are you expecting to play on Sunday?
Yeah.
I was having Keanu before the game started. I talked to him a little bit about you. He's like, man, it's been a pleasure having you around. How's it been having Keanu?
It's been great. Yeah, that's I know you're only going into year 4, but that's like a vet to me, another guard that I'm gonna be playing with. And, I think we're gonna be a great backcourt all the time. So picking his brain, and he get on me sometimes today. He was talking to me during the game and stuff. So definitely like a big brother to me right now.
Darryn,
fans were loving you when you and AJ going ISO. Were you expecting that, like the crowd excited?
Yeah, I knew it was gonna happen sooner or later.
Obviously, it's your 3rd professional game, but just how much fun are you having out there?
A ton. This is what I love to play. So anytime I step on the court, I'm having a ton of fun. Every trying to win, but that's what makes it fun to me.
Darryn, you watched Summer League growing up throughout the years. Now that you're actually here in Vegas, what's something that is either unexpected or something about this atmosphere or actually being playing?
Something unexpected. Everything that's coming my way, I feel like I've been thinking about, dreaming about. So nothing really caught me off guard. Maybe a little bit today with me getting 9 fouls. That caught me off guard. I kind of got mixed up with the refs not calling and then calling. So, but that's probably the biggest adjustment we got.
All right, there is Darryn Peterson. Now, here is head coach Steve Wojciechowski.
I thought Washington's ball pressure really affected us. And in our guys' defense, we had 4 new guys playing, and they should play. But it's a lot to ask to meet new guys the morning of a game and try to be a coherent unit. We'll get better at that. I was proud of our guys' fight. Like down 20, our guys never stopped battling. And slowly, never able to get rhythm, but we had more good possessions.
Fouls aside, what did you like from Darryn today?
Well, I mean, this is a great example. Teams are going to come after Darryn. I mean, we don't have tape on the other teams. They have tape on us. And if you watch Darryn's 2 games, he's going to be the first, second, and third guy on the scouting report. I thought overall he handled the pressure pretty well. We can help him more. And the longer this group plays together, the more we'll be able to help them. Very similar to what we saw in Salt Lake.
Or you could have a voice call this week.
Yeah, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. Look, they're 2 of the best young players on the planet, and people are excited about them, and rightly so. And those guys, from a very early age, have had to learn to handle the spotlight. And I'm not sure any games they've played in has been as big a spotlight as this one, because of what they both have done individually. And I thought both of them handled it really well under tough circumstances. Look, this is not an NBA team with training camp and all of those things. I mean, you're in some respects throwing these guys into the fire. And I thought both kids handled the fire exceptionally well.
All right, there is Steve Wojciechowski. All right, we will take a break. When we come back, we got to get to a lot of football. We've got more interviews that we haven't gotten to from the Big 12 Media Days. Cougar players, athletic director Brian Santiago, Keanu Tanuvasa. We will hear from him coming up next. Stay with us. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, KSL Sports Zone. All right, time to head back to the Star in Dallas. Some of the stuff you might have missed from the Big 12 Media Days. Keanu Tanuvasa. Going to be a big part of the Cougars this year. A big part. Well, that's why it's at the Big 12 Media Days, right? Here he is with the guys on the Zone.
Great, sir. How about yourself?
You know what? I'm doing a lot better now. We get to chat with you. How is your summer going all right?
It's been great. Yeah, I've got a lot of time to spend with the wife, a lot of time to spend with the boys, getting ready for a baby coming in November. So taking advantage of what I got now and then excited for what's to come.
You came in with a big reputation, right? You did great things at Utah and expecting to do those things at BYU. Now you're going into your second year. Do you feel like personally that you want to ramp up expectations for yourself even more?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think at Utah, I was blessed to have 3 years there, and I think going into the last year, I made Utah my own. I knew what the scheme was, I knew who my coaches and my teammates were, and I made it my own. Coming into BYU last year, I had a lot of expectations that were difficult to adjust to, considering that I still had to learn the defense, had to learn my teammates, and I had to learn the culture and the style. Well, I feel like I've made it my own. It feels like that third year at the University of Utah that I was blessed to perform so well, that I'm so excited to go into this season because I've made it my own again.
What's the locker room at BYU like when Kalani's out in front right before you guys take the field? I imagine that guy can captivate that locker room, but excited to hear his voice and be able to do that the very first game.
Yeah, Kalani's as you know, he's a very well-spoken man. He's calm and collected, which is great because I think the team needs that presence there. But when the time is necessary to get right and to get excited, to get amped, I think he definitely is able to ignite that fire right before we step out.
And the dancing's not bad either.
Oh, the dancing's great.
He's really got it.
He's got the moves. He's got them.
All right, so I want to go through a scenario here, and it's a what will you do? Because I guarantee you've had these conversations.
Sir.
Let's say you're in a hotel room, November 6th. And
what's November 7th?
That's maybe the Utah game.
Okay, I didn't know
and then all of a sudden you get a phone call from the missus. She's like, "Hey, these things are like 90 seconds apart."
Yeah.
What happens there in the Tanuvasa house?
Oh, that's a great question.
Don't answer it, man. You don't have to. Just wait till the time comes and then make your choice.
Hold on. Just wait. Just wait about 36 hours. Everything will be good.
Exactly. I'm just going to tell her, hold on a little bit.
Just trying to save you some marital.
Take some deep breaths.
Exactly. I'll probably God's timing is perfect. I can't argue with it. So if it's time, the baby takes definitely more of my life over that rivalry game. But the Lord will make it so I can play.
Yeah, sure, have faith.
Exactly.
He's got faith. He's bigger than you.
Little faith, Scotty. He's from Logan, It's a Logan thing.
The BYU defense has been fascinating to see it develop under Jay Hill and now Kelly Papinga these last few years. The linebackers have got a ton of run, and even the secondary, which historically hasn't been one of BYU's stronger points, but they're developing defensive backs, and we just had Evan Johnson, potential pro player, and now it's like the spotlight has turned from where it might have been before at the back end to the front end. It's like, oh man, these guys, they've got to get pressure on that quarterback, blah, blah, blah. And we know you in the middle middle, but you're not going to be able to do it alone. Tell us about the brothers on the offensive line that you believe are ready to make this contribution to where, all right, the defensive line is just as good as the linebackers in the secondary.
For us on the defensive line, I mean, I think we've recognized that we need to step it up a little bit. I think last year was great. I think it was a little difficult. I think Jay Hill ran his defense a little bit around Jack Kelly and
Sure.
Glasgow,
Yeah.
which was great, and it worked for us, as you can see. But now it's sticking to with K-Pop taking over, who was, our DN's coach, is letting the pass rush be between the big boys up front and adding a backer here and there. It's being wise with our timing about when we choose to blitz, but letting the boys eat. Let them get after it. Don't just try and open up gaps for linebackers, but let's get home. And I think not just that coming from Coach K-Pop, but that's a thing that's happened for me as well that I recognized last year learning the defense. I was wanting to open up these gaps for my linebackers and wanting to eat these blocks so that we could make these plays. I'm at the point that it's like I can do that, and I can also do that 5 yards in the backfield. They'll stick to me if I'm getting off the ball and I'm winning in the backfield. And so we're looking forward to implementing that more going into this year. And with Justin Kirkland being back and his big body up and frame up front, Hunter Clegg being more developed, Tau Seeley, we got Nusi Tamoipeau. We got a lot of guys that are phenomenal. Anisi Purcell, Bodie Schoonover, that can pass rush. They just need to mentally see it and go do it.
I think that's really an interesting point because so much of what you guys did was space eating, essentially not letting offensive linemen get to the second level, keeping your linebackers clean. To have a coach that says, no, guess what? You guys get a feast at the big boy table too.
Yep.
I can't imagine the energy that brings to the table.
It's very exciting. It's what we've wanted. As a defensive lineman, you want to create havoc. And that's what we want to do as a collective unit is we want to beat the guy in front of us. And if we can, let's take two of them. But let's do it getting into the backfield. Let's do it dominating towards the quarterback and towards the running back so we can make plays as well.
Last year, you were kind of big news, making a move, and now it's not even a big deal anymore. Kyle Whittingham said, hold my beer. I'm going to go to Michigan. But that having that transition year under your belt, being at BYU, and being able to, set down roots, how big is that going into the season for you?
Absolutely critical. I think I'm a person that builds from the foundation up, and I think when I tried to shift the foundation from the U to BYU, it didn't hold too well. And so I played well. It was good, and I'm proud of what I did, but I know that there's more in me, and that was what was eating me alive after games last year was people would compliment me and people would love us because we'd win these games, and I didn't feel like me. Now with my feet in the ground, I've stepped into the water and the sea is parted. I can see the goal. I'm moving towards it, and I'm excited to play this year.
You're talking about that goal being this year too, but there's a little bit of a longer range goal, and that would be the NFL. Do you allow yourself to think about that?
A little bit. I try not to get consumed in it. I think I did that my third year at Utah, and it was a little bit too much focus on, I got to get to the next level. Yeah. The best players know how to live in the moment, and the best players know how to perform in today. And so if I can handle one game at a time and get a sack against Utah Tech and get a tackle for loss and blow up my gap, well, then let's move on to Arizona and let's do that and so forth.
Yeah, and you got Arizona right off the bat. That's a huge conference game in week 2.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to get you fired up because whoever wins that game has a leg up.
Yeah. Yeah, as much as, people would classify it as a non-conference game, everyone's going to take it as that. And so we're looking forward to starting fast. That's a huge model going into this year is we had 6 comeback victories last year. That's way too many.
Yeah.
We got to start fast from Utah Tech and then go into Arizona and stack. Just as the workouts we've stacked from start to finish, we're stacking games and we're excited to play Arizona. I just got to not get kicked out this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, come on. We're counting on you.
He's a hard QB to tackle, man.
Yeah.
Yes, he
is.
5'6".
Yeah, a little taller.
There's only a little bit rain. Yeah, he's a little taller. I got to make fun of him.
I had a premonition you're going to get him this year.
Oh, I'm going to get him.
Yeah, you'll get him.
Yeah, I got him in high school.
I was going to say, did you know Fafita personally? Because you obviously referenced him.
Yeah, we knew each other, and we texted. We've texted a lot over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I saw it. You'll get him. I enjoy that one.
Hey,
it's coming.
I was talking to one of your defensive coaches, and he mentioned, look, there's some losses there, but said Cade's turned a lot of eyes in camp. What have you seen out of him?
Cade is a downhill player. That man plays fast, and I love it. That's one reason that I feel a little bit more comfortable shooting gaps is I know he's going to have his, and I know he's going to make a play. If that ball is within 4 to 5 feet, he's leaving his feet, but he's downhill, and it takes him only a couple steps before he's making contact. So I love his downhill speed. I love the way that he plays, and he wants to hit. I mean, Bruce knows there was a blitz that happened in spring ball, and Cade gave it to him. So I'm excited to see how it goes.
Wish we'd have known that before.
I know, we just asked Bruce about it. I'm sure
we would have lit him up.
I'm sure he's not too brokenhearted about that.
You mentioned something about this, but I just want to reiterate. Obviously, the big question for people that talk about stuff like this is Jay leaving and Kelly coming in. As a defense, you're 100% confident in what Kelly can do and his abilities.
Absolutely. He's a hard-working man, and he's intelligent, and he has the energy. I love Coach K-Pop, and I think he's a BYU man through and through. Obviously, I think there's development to be had in everyone as he's taking over as a defensive coordinator. But I don't think that there's a man more dedicated to becoming the best defensive coordinator he can. He's definitely not as veteran as Jay Hill because it's his first year, but he's dedicated and he's committed, and that's who we are. I mean, we're men that are committed to our craft, but we're not professionals yet, and we're getting there. So as a collective unit, I'm excited.
You seem like a old soul, and I mean that in a good way.
He did at Utah. I interviewed him a bunch of times there. Always seemed it.
You have a bigger perspective on things than maybe a lot of young men your age. Where does that come from? To be able to have a bigger perspective on the long-term plans as opposed to just what's in front of you right now?
From my upbringing, I'm just grateful to my mom and dad. They've blessed me with vision that supersedes the moments that we're living in. You live in the moment and you don't worry about the future, but you have to pay attention to it and you have to prepare yourself for success. And I think that came up from the gospel and understanding what's to come. And I think that came from great parents. That's who I've been born to. And it comes from, the baby coming soon.
Do you know, boy, girl?
It's a baby boy.
Nice.
We got a name?
It's baby Sam.
Oh, I got a son named Sam. Man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Perfect name.
Let's go.
Tight end, or are you going to have him on the interior?
Oh, he's playing O-line for sure.
Yeah.
With my wife's genes and my genes, if he's not playing basketball, he's playing O-line.
I love it. And, hey, congratulations, man. We're fired up for you.
Appreciate you, gentlemen.
All right, there is Keanu Tanuvasa. When we come back, hear from BYU's athletic director, Brian Santiago. 1 year on the job now, a little more than that, actually, I think. Brian Santiago coming up next. Stay with us. Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Coming up this morning, we're going to talk with RSL head coach Pablo Mastroeni at 8 o'clock. The World Cup break is almost over. They've got a game coming up Wednesday night. They're going to play an English team, and then a little tune-up game, a little something to get them going. They'll play Burnley, I think. And then they'll have a week off, and a week from Wednesday, they'll get back to it, and away we go. And coming back from these layoffs for Leagues Cup in previous years has been a problem. So I'm curious what they're doing differently, how they think they're addressing that. We'll talk about Pablo Mastroeni coming up at 8 o'clock. Also, Jake Scott's going to join us at 9. Apparently down at the Star in Dallas, when he and PK weren't doing a bunch of interviews, got in a huge argument about whether Cleveland should have re-signed Donovan Mitchell. And I get why Jake didn't want Cleveland to re-sign Donovan. But the cold, hard fact is you can't let him walk for nothing. You can't just let him walk away. And you can't really trade him for equal value. And if you don't believe me, take a look at the Boston Celtics. Believe me. Now, the Celtics were in a different deal because they had 2 max guys and they really had to move one. Whereas that's not Cleveland's situation. And they just got to the conference final for the first time. Now, is there a clear path forward for them? There is not. Maybe getting LeBron would help. But they can't get this close and just stop trying and let him walk. I think they had to sign him. He's got limitations. He doesn't always seem terribly interested in defending. I get all that. We'll get into that with Jake Scott coming up. And maybe there'll be a big blow-up. It could be awesome. PK said it got pretty fired up. And Alex Napolis, who's filling for Jake this week, was laughing because he saw it on the YouTube stream and thought it was hilarious. Apparently, they got pretty animated. So we'll talk with Jake coming up at 9. Right now, though, back to the Star in Dallas where the guys are talking to BYU Athletic Director Brian Santiago.
I'm great.
What's up, B?
I got to give a little love to my peeps. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
What's up, Tim?
Because you're making the rounds, and everybody wants to chat with you. But you know what? We'll keep it close to home for you. How are things?
Yeah, things are great. Super excited. Super excited. We're at this time of year where we're getting ready to launch into the best part of the fall, and that's when football kicks off. I'm a guy that just wants to get the focus as soon as possible back on the coaches and players and let them fly. And hopefully soon there's some order in college sports so we can get the focus back where it needs to be.
You feel like we might be on a path towards that?
Yeah, I mean, you guys heard the commissioner talk about the Protect College Sports Act. What we're all looking for is just some order, to find some sort of a platform, some sort of sustainable model that actually protects college sports. I don't think there's any AD in the country that's sitting around going, man, this is awesome. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
Get another wheelbarrow of cash.
It's so much fun to sit and figure out where you're going to come up with tens and 20s of millions of dollars, because there's got to be a sustainable model. Super grateful to be at a school where we've been blessed with resources and donors and corporate sponsors that are helping us navigate this. Super grateful to be at a school where we have an administration up through our president, Shane Reese, that is helping us navigate these tricky waters. But yeah, guys, like, we got to find some sort of sustainable model that the universities are going to be excited about, the coaches, the players, like, everyone's going to go, yeah, this is actually the way it's supposed to be.
So can I ask you a dumb question then?
There's no dumb questions.
If everybody, I believe you, ADs I'm sure wanted something, structure, something, right? And we've got bipartisan legislation that's in the works. So this is the dumb part. What's in the way? What's standing in the way?
Well, it depends on who you talk to, but a free market, right? I mean, you've got universities saying we need some structure and limitations and some caps, right, for a sustainable model. And then you have a whole wave of free agents saying we don't want any cap, we don't want any model, we want to be able to maximize everything we can do. I think that there are some out there and universities out there that are also advocating for no limits, but it's not a sustainable model. So, somebody was just asking me and using the words breaking away and what if all, and I'm like, yeah, as soon as you start talking about a college sports model that's all about breaking away,
you're going to lose people.
You're going to lose. To me, it's a lose proposition. I'm all about unifying. Like, how can we come together and get a model where everyone wants to be a part of it, everybody from presidents on down? You just have to look around the country. There are very few athletic departments operating in the black. Now, I know you guys know all about business. If you keep operating in the red year after year, it doesn't end well.
At least that's what I've heard, Brian. From my research, that's what I've heard.
But I say that very respectfully. We have to find a model that allows universities and athletic departments to operate in a sustainable way financially. Super grateful. I've said this to you guys before. I'm super grateful to be at a university where it's mandated. We don't have an option to operate upside down. We're going to operate with the principles that we've been taught, and we're going to try to make sure we're bringing in more than we're spending. And in athletics at BYU, we don't receive funds, contrary to what everybody in the world believes, that we have unlimited funds because of the church. We have to be self-sustaining in athletics at BYU. We don't receive funds directly from the church and allocated funds. We're trying to make sure we operate in a model where our revenues exceed our expenses, and it's a mandate. So I'm just grateful to be at an institution that, not number one, mandates that. Number two, where we're fortunate enough to have the support to do that.
How juiced are you for this football team?
Let's go. I don't know.
Your guys seem great. The guys we talked to seem locked in.
You look at those guys that are here, starting with LJ and Bear. Keanu Tanuvasa is one of the great leaders in college football. I mean, you don't get better people than that. You got Glasgow here, Bruce Mitchell. I mean, who can tell me that story?
And Evan's awesome too.
And then you look at it, like all of them, like Shmev, Evan, like all those guys, being with them last night, the energy, the connected nature of them, but the way they represent, and they're stinking dang good football players. I know I get excited.
I love when he starts to lean forward.
But listen, like these dudes can play football. They're the best dudes on planet Earth. But if you're just the best dudes on planet Earth and you can't play, you don't have a story to tell. That's what I love about what Kalani and our A-Rod got K-Pop moving in to that defensive coordinator spot. But the amount of talent that's in the program, the elevation of the program, the national relevance, knocking on the door of college football playoff, and then we get to tell the story of these guys. That's what gets me excited, because if we're not good, nobody cares. We have to be good. And we are great. And Kalani's elevated that program where we are nationally relevant and we've got a story to tell. It's unbelievable. It gets me fired up because, our whole goal is to go play great football. But there's a bigger purpose. We got to prepare and continue to prepare these guys to go fly. Those dudes that are here, those 6 guys, are going to go change the world. Those are incredible humans. And, man, can they play football. I'm so excited to watch them play.
When you, over the last, even I'd say the last 2 or 3 years, there's been a transition from, I'll use AJ for example. AJ signs at BYU, and people are like, BYU. And now every 5-star recruit out there has a BYU logo as one of his Final 4, Final 5, that he's predicting. It went from, why BYU to, well, here's a 5-star. Why is BYU not in his Final 5? That transition's happened really quickly, where it's cool to be at BYU. How did that happen so quickly?
Yeah, I give all the credit to our coaches and the elevation of the programs, but I don't want to miss the opportunity to give credit where credit's due. Our move to the Big 12 elevated it significantly as well. I mean, some of the best players in the country wouldn't consider BYU. Tim knows this firsthand, of the battle that they had.
I thought it was just me.
The battle they had going into living rooms saying, hey, we want you to come to BYU. Oh, we respect your program. We love your program, but we want to play in this conference or that conference. That Big 12 elevation happened, but I also think the elevation of the national brand, the elevated brand of BYU nationally with the coaches, right? All of a sudden, the best players in the country are saying we want to go to BYU, right? They're, like you say, you're seeing it when Ryder Lyons gets up in front of the cameras. Recently with some of the other big recruits in the country, I'm going to BYU. People that aren't associated with BYU are choosing BYU. Right? We just happened with 2 or 3 of our football recruits in the room. Stand up and go, hey, I'm canceling trips to 2 or 3 other big schools. I'm coming right here. This is where I want to come. This feels like family here. It's part of who we are. It's our strength. And we're seeing more and more people outside of the BYU circle saying we want to be there. And then the big names that are associated with BYU and want to be at BYU are choosing BYU. It's a huge thing. But I give all the credit to the coaches and the student athletes, because really they're the ones on the front end of the recruiting. And at the end of the day, who do I want to really be around and be mentored by and coached by? I'm going to BYU, Kalani, Sitake. I could name every guy on our staff. I want to be around Bear. I want to be around Keanu. I want to be around these players. Oh, Kevin Young has brought incredible credibility, right? AJ Dybantsa chose BYU because of Kevin Young and his ability, and the staff and the people around him, the support staff, but their ability to prepare him for what he's in right now, because KY had been there. And it's going to continue to happen. But I go a little further. You look down the line, Kihei Akina. The guy's one of the best in the country.
Seriously.
Why does he choose BYU? Because of the coaches, because of the brand, because of the history and the legacy. Jane Hendegren, best in the country. Diljit Taylor. Why do they choose BYU? Because of the coaches. So I'm always, and Tim knows this being around me, I'm always going to point back to the people that deserve the credit. My responsibility is to make sure that the right coaches are in place, because if you have the right coaches in place, and I'm super humbled and grateful that Kalani chose BYU, continues to choose BYU, KY continues to choose BYU. We've got to make sure we have the right coaches in place, and then we're going to fly. This place is next level. I say it all the time, and I'm biased. There's no better place, and there's no better time to be part of BYU than right now.
So I give you a lot of credit after the Sorsby mess and the athletic director meeting. You jumped on with these two guys like the next day, and I thought it was a great interview, and I thought you were as transparent as you could be. And then we see other ADs say things and other reports come out, and I'm curious, what is the relationship like internally with the schools now, and what do you think of Brett Yormark's leadership through that particular crisis?
I thought the conference handled things really, really well. I love Brett Yormark's energy, his progressive nature. He's constantly trying to build the Big 12 brand. But specific to your question, I love that he talks about united, 16 strong. We got to be together. In the room, there's going to be tension. There are going to be issues that arise where there's tension. But it's always a focus on 16 strong, united front. Got to be together, resolve our issues inside, not outside. Right? I think it's critical. I think the Big 12 has done a masterful job in some tricky situations.
I'd say.
Handling it internal. We handle our business, we handle our struggles internally. Let's get it resolved. Let's get in the room. Let's make sure that we get things resolved. I'm super impressed with not just the Big 12 leadership, but our board, which are the presidents, the executive committee. You have some of the brightest minds out there leading the charge. They've done a great job of continuing to spread that message of 16 strong, united front.
I'm probably the only one, of this group that knows this, but above your door, the initials FAW.
Yeah.
Find a way.
Yeah.
And it's something you've been talking about since I met you way back when. How important has that been since you took over this position? To find a way. I mean, is every day a find a way thing?
Yeah, Tim, it's a great question. First of all, every time I hear that,
I'm a media member, CB.
I know.
Look
at you. Every time I hear that, I think about. First of all, I think about my coach, Gary Colson, who's passed on and is my guy. But he's the one that sent me that sign, and he always used to tell me when I was playing for him, he said, B, what I love about you is you just always find a way. Like you never let up. You always find a way. And he sent me that wooden sign above my door. It just says FAW. And I just am someone that believes in life there's always a way. We can always find a way. It usually means that you got to have great relationships. You got to tie into other people. But in this role, Tim, just about it comes into play all the time, where challenges come, and what's the resolve? Right? Are we going to let it knock us down and put us underwater, or are we going to stand up and say, no, there's a way. We can find a way, and a great way that'll even make us stronger. And we said it going into COVID, we're going to come out of this stronger, and we did. Right? When a lot of things were going the opposite direction, every day we woke up, let's find a way we're going to come out of this stronger, and BYU came out of COVID stronger. Now in this current landscape with all the turbulence, our motive every day is to come out of it stronger. We're going to find a way. We're going to find a way to continue to elevate, keep this positive momentum going. You guys can feel it. There's a wave of positive momentum in Provo that we feel a huge responsibility to keep that momentum rolling.
I want to get a history lesson a little bit from you, because we were at a station function, and at that point we were owned by the Millers, and a good friend of ours, Don Sterling, with the Jazz. It was when you made the first pitch to the Big 12 that they decided to stay put for then. And I remember talking to him, and he said, Brian Santiago knocked that pitch out of the park. And he goes, I don't know if it's going to lead to anything tomorrow, but it's going to lead to something down the line. How much do you feel like the work that you put in early, you and your team, put in early led to the success of being eventually into this conference?
Yeah, I think it's a super insightful question. Number one, I love Don Sterling, and he was super helpful in that process. We gathered probably 7 or 8 leaders around the state that had interest in BYU in a room, and we brainstormed how are we going to elevate BYU's brand and our preparation to get into a power conference in a unique way that'll capture their attention. So there was a room full of really powerful minds. We came up with an all-in campaign that, to cut a long story short, we didn't get in that initial presentation in 2016. But the word that they used was extraordinary.
Yeah.
What you just presented to us was extraordinary. They were mind-blown on a number of fronts, including the fact, and it goes back to this financial viability, what do you mean, they asked us, that you don't have any institutional debt? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Let us explain it to you. Our sponsoring institution. But this is what happened. Fast forward, and there were reasons we didn't get in then. There were media reasons, there were financial reasons. I'm not disclosing anything, it leaked out there. There was reasons for them to stay where they stay put. But what happened when Texas and Oklahoma left? All that work we had done, the word came back. We already know who you are from 2016. You're an extraordinary institution. And they invited us. We were gearing up for another presentation, how are we going to convince them? And their words were extraordinary. We already know who you are. We want to, and they called Tom and said, we want to invite you to be part of the Big 12. That was huge. But that preparation, what was put together and all that work behind the scenes had already painted the picture to where we didn't need to go try to convince anyone again. They already knew what was happening, and we were able to launch really into a whole new world for college athletics and BYU. Being part of the Big 12 has elevated the BYU brand in a massive way. And I hear from people all over the world that are part of Cougar Nation say, oh, if this is what it's going to be, we're in. We're in. What do you need to continue to elevate? Because now when you talk about universities that are in, our name's right there. People are college football, they're talking about BYU. College basketball, they're talking about BYU. College, you name it, they're talking about BYU. We're super excited about the future and what's to come.
Being quarterback at BYU is something special.
It's amazing.
It's a long line, and I guess a two-part question. One, how is Bear Bachmeier handling the, on the field we see it, but the off the field, the celebrity, and just how much does having a QB1 at BYU mean to the entire athletics department?
Yeah, Bear is a very unique leader, I would say. He has a very interesting way about him that's handling this in an extraordinary way. He's just Bear. You guys have been around him. He doesn't try to put on. We're in our executive meeting the other day. We're all up there talking about all things college sports, and in walks Bear with his guitar, shorts and a T-shirt and flip-flops. Sits down, starts playing and singing to us. Sounds like another person I know.
Sounds like our staff meeting.
FaceTime you, baby.
Yeah. But here was the thing about it is I think he just has a humility about him and a quiet confidence that allows him to just elevate as QB1. And that leadership, we all know when you're the QB1, all those guys in front of you, all those guys behind you, they want to migrate to someone that they know has that quiet confidence that's going to make everyone around them better. And that's what I think Bear does. I watch him interact with our guys even on this trip. He's got a presence about him that is different. It's unique. I don't pretend to be a in-the-weeds football guy. I'm a passionate football guy from a standpoint of support and all those things for Kalani. But a week or two into fall camp last year when they were still trying to measure everything, I watched for a couple of days and I just walked up and said, one of these is not like the other. And I have no idea what X's and O's are going on in the field, but one of these guys is not like the others. He just had a presence about him that was super impressive.
And that to me is that stuff doesn't happen. We're talking about, teams that are packaging millions of dollars to go get a quarterback at schools like BYU.
Right.
And then this guy does what he does last year. It's fascinating.
The bear on the loose.
Yep.
You know, when you look across where college athletics is right now, and there's a lot of people, and I love the fact that you brought up COVID too, because COVID broke a lot of people.
Yep.
But it broke a lot more people than it made, because there were a lot of people that were shutting their doors and just saying, okay, we can't do anything. And I loved when you guys said, no, we can play. And the SEC said, no, we can play. And it just kind of stopped everybody for a moment and been like, hey, these guys are going to try this. Maybe we should be pretty quick. And then the NIL thing, which I agree, there needs to be guardrails. There needs to be a system. But there's also okay, what can we do to take this to our advantage? Yeah. Where does that mindset come from, where BYU has turned into you know what, let's not let a crisis go to waste. Let's take advantage of opportunities that are available to us.
Yeah, it's opportunity. And you just used the word, it's opportunity. Like in those moments, oftentimes in adversity is when we define our excellence. And in those moments, Tom, myself, president at the time, like everyone was all in to say, what kind of opportunity, what can we do to make this great? How can we come out of this stronger? We can just all take our ball and go to the corner and hide. Or we can say, hey, let's go. Like, let's go find a way. And that's exactly what we ended up doing. And at the time when we were independent, we actually had a chance to put all those games together. Is there anybody else that'll play? Everybody said, let's play, and boom. We were able to capitalize on it, put together a schedule. I give credit to Tom. Because he kind of took the lead in putting that schedule together. But our team, our coaches, everybody was like, let's go, let's be in. Let's find a way to test so that we can actually go get on a plane and go. Like we put all of our resources in and found ways to make it happen. You guys know this about life. It doesn't just happen. You got to go make it happen. And that's what we were able to do but it was a combined effort. You got to go make stuff happen. That's why we were able to come out of COVID stronger.
You got a 40-yard dash in you today?
Yeah, I do. My legs are a little tired. I ran 6 miles yesterday. I don't do that very often.
Where'd you play this morning?
Didn't play this morning. I wanted to.
Okay.
It's load management today.
Okay.
It's load management, but
I got some hookups here. I'm sure you do too.
No, let's go. It's super nice to be with you guys.
Hey, appreciate it. Thanks for coming by. It means a lot.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
All right, there's Brian Santiago. The headlines are next. What is trending? Stay with us.
Now at McDonald's, get a $5 McChicken meal deal or a $6 McDouble meal deal. They come with small fries, a soft drink, and 4-piece McNuggets. We're going to need a bigger tray. Get more value with your meal deal with McValue.
Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NBA.
Peterson lobs. And the basket by Robinson. Going in the basket one time, but he has not made a field goal. Dybantsa, meanwhile, has 7 points for Washington. Ball swatted away on the drive by Watkins. Alexander has it swatted by Beekman. Shot clock at 4. Peterson has to hoist. And throws a 3. First field goal.
Trimble just trying to be physical and get into Peterson and pressure.
Peterson, a runner swishes through. Pretty move.
Highlights as the Utah Jazz lose to the Washington Wizards in the Vegas Summer League. A.J. Dybantsa, 27 points. Darryn Peterson, 24. Neither of them shot the ball especially well. Did you see enough out of them, PK, or it's too much one-on-one, not enough team basketball? What'd you think?
I think Dybantsa is a big-time scorer. He has ways to get to the basket. He missed all 5 of his threes. He's not a three-point shooter, and I'm not going to panic because of that. Why does everybody need to be a three-point shooter? He can do things that very few people can do, and so that's going to make him a budding star. I think he'll get there. Peterson, I think he was pressing a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that, you look at the teams with
Trey Johnson there for the Wizards, who was a high pick,
Mm-hmm.
and the Jazz didn't have Ace Bailey. They said he has some back thing or something, whatever it was. So I think it was harder for Darryn Peterson. And it's clear he's pressing, and he's going to have to grow into playing with the ball. He talked about after the game that he's having fun. He didn't have fun at Kansas. That thing was a disaster. They didn't like him. He didn't like them. It's like you guys and the Kansas City soccer team. You hate them. They hate you.
See, it's a Kansas thing, probably. Yeah. That's what it comes down to.
Well, it could be Kansas City, Missouri, though. I don't know where the soccer
But it's not.
plays.
The soccer is in Kansas.
Oh,
yeah.
I knew you would know because you're our soccer guy.
I've driven to it, so.
Oh, of course, yeah. And you've rolled on the ground and probably kissed the turf. You were so excited.
Neither of those things happen.
Soccer, dude. You love it. This is
nonetheless. I did not roll on the ground and kiss the
metaphorically.
grass.
You did, and you're disappointed
That's
that
possible.
You
now
don't get to
metaphorically.
You don't get
maybe.
to travel like Locke does. We understand. You'd
Wins and
rather
losses
do
with
that. So you sit here in the studio and they scored, and there's no atmosphere, and it bugs you. Come on, be truthful. Everybody knows it. I mean, I know it's true. I don't need you to tell me the truth. I already know the truth.
You just said be truthful, so I was truthful. I was just following orders. Don't contradict yourself.
The first time I do, you'll be the first one to know about it.
Well, when it happened, I did. Yes, sir.
I'm still waiting. Let me know. So he wants to play with the ball, and the Jazz are going to have to figure that out. I don't think he's going to play with the ball the level of amount of time that he does here. So this is the summer league, man. Get all your mistakes in right now. I got no problem with it.
That 10 fouls rule, I get it. They don't want guys to foul out. They put the summer league together. What good does it do? But then at the same time, when they give them 10 fouls, you got guys using 9, and Peterson did. Makes the game pretty choppy. Both those guys got a lot of points at the line.
I don't think they should be fouling out anyway.
I know you don't think that, and I thought that watching the game.
I think that's a stupid rule that you got guys to be aggressive, and then they got to watch themselves. Oh, I can't be aggressive now. That's not, the fans don't want that. This is what the fans want. This is entertainment. That's why your sport there is not making any changes, and why it lags far behind in the U.S.
Feel free to stop the clock. Feel free to stop the clock.
There's a million things they can do. Half an inch offside, and you take away a goal. And there's not enough of them. And not to come down on your sport, because I know it's near and dear to your heart. And like this one thing with the free throw, you want to shorten the game. Regular season, you got 1 minute to make a replay call. 1 minute. And if you can't make it in 1 minute, whatever the dope on the court called
is the call.
Yeah, and then the dopes on the court will take more ownership of the call instead of knowing that, well, we'll just go to Secaucus and everything will be fine and I'll keep my job. No, that's right. 1 minute in the regular season, because especially during a weeknight, because once you get past 9:30, the whole goal is to get the game over with so I can go home and go to sleep and get up and go to work the next day. And they don't need all those calls in the last few minutes, every little thing going to the monitor. No.
Let's check and see who the ball went out of.
1 minute. That's it. And you'd shorten the game if that's such a big deal.
Clippers-Raptors trade. Oh, the next game's Sunday night. Amazon, 8 o'clock. Jazz will be back at it in Vegas. The Kawhi Leonard trade is on hold amid the probe. Did the Clippers funnel money through a third company and go around the salary cap? So until the NBA decides whatever it is they want to decide, that trade just on hold. So for the Raptors players who were traded, awesome. Limbo.
Oh, I don't think they'll negate the trade. They'll just find the Clippers, and then whatever suspension that Leonard faces, the Raptors will have to deal with it. So I don't think that's the point of it.
Then why put it on hold? Because that with both those
because
things,
they don't
it
have
can
the
go
penalties.
Through. Well, both those things it can still go through.
What are both of those things?
The fine for the Clippers and the suspension for Kawhi and the Raptors.
Right. I think they wanted to make it known that, hey, this doesn't void what we were doing over here. I think that's why make it known.
Jordan Clarkson back to the Knicks. 1 year deal, $3.9 million. So he gets a ring and he gets another year in the NBA. Joe Mazzulla on the Jaylen Brown trade. We're going to have a different identity because Brown felt no loyalty. Don't usually see teams airing this kind of stuff after a trade, but this one's unusual. It's personal. I guess we Can look forward to those Boston-Philly games. They'll have a little extra spice.
So now they'll have loyalty? Paul George is going to just bleed Celtic green? Is that it?
Paul George on his 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it his 15? I think it's his 15.
Don't know. You keep counting.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
What you can get is you can get a model that has proven to work for the last 100 years, the NFL model. I mean, they have collective bargaining. Everybody understands exactly what they're getting into. There's no lawsuits. There's no suing. There's no finding a judge that, is going to be sympathetic to your cause. There's none of that stuff. You have somebody that's in charge and somebody that says yes or no. And there's rules. And guess what? If you don't follow the rules, you get punished. What a novel idea. And again, the thing that we're teaching our players, and I hate this, is we're teaching our players, look, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And is that really what we want to teach young people? If we could get to collective bargaining, the reason nobody wants to do it, I think, is because it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have insurance and you're going to have, 401ks and you're going to have all these things.
That's TCU coach Sonny Dykes. He'd like to bargain collectively. Northwestern players were trying to organize something a decade ago, and that got shot down. And since then, it's turned into the Wild West, PK. I don't know what the players' motivation would be. That'd be a pretty big 401k to bring them to the table because it would limit NIL, and the NIL money is getting bigger and bigger.
Oh, I think they can have rules without you love to talk about the collective bargaining. I take a swig every time you say the collective bargaining agreement, as if people listen to us to learn about the collective bargaining agreement. I think they can have rules. They had rules before, and they decided to throw them away. I think they can have them again. But this idea, what are we teaching young people? Sonny and everybody else, you're there to win games. You don't teach them jack squat. They learn it on their own. What did your parents teach you about,
And they learn it when they quit and leave you hanging during the season to go take another job.
What did your parents teach you about?
Pretty much everything.
Nothing. We all learned it on our own.
And then...
So we can stop with these molders of men. You're there to win games because you can be the great molder of man all you want. And if you go 3-9, you're out the door.
Yep. And you don't even have to go 3-9. You can just have a few bad weeks, and UCLA can run you in September.
What are we teaching these young men?
Win and get paid. That's what they're learning about the system. Win and get paid. On threes, Brett McMurphy has Devin Dampier as the number 2 quarterback in the Big 12. BYU Bear Bachmeier at number 5. Thinks Noah Fafita is the best QB. And on 3, we can get to this coming up later in the show. On 3, picking the Cougs is the favorite. Now the Texas Tech has had their little quarterback problem. You buying it? Or do you even care about that? Just be in the top 2. Because who can pick one game in November?
I think it's very legitimate that they would be there. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen, but it's a preseason poll.
Cincinnati's coach says that Texas Tech was talking to Brendan Sorsby during the season. The agent denies the claim. Tampering in college football. That would never happen, PK, except for, the coaches that come on the air here with their name on it and say it happens.
So what?
Yeah.
I think coaches interview or have their people talk about other jobs. Why is this even an issue? What law is against tampering? I mean, that's just a made up. Because we don't like it and it's not fair. We somehow created, you can't do that. That's not right.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
The 3-1 pitch. Swung on and creamed. Deep right field. That is long gone. A grand slam by Yaz. And it's 10-5 Braves in the 9th in Pittsburgh.
And that ball is hit to deep left field. Siri going back. It's over his head. It's off the base of the wall. Osuna around third. He scores easily. Wyatt Langford walks off the Angels.
1-2 is drilled. This is out to deep right field, out toward the bullpen, and long gone. Whoa, over the canopy in the visitors' bullpen. An absolute moonshot.
Highlights around Major League Baseball. You heard the Rangers walk off the Angels. The Rangers now a game over 500. They are the only team with a winning record in the AL West. They take over the top spot. Half game up on the Mariners, at least for now. The Boston Red Sox have won 6 in a row, giving up for dead, PK. They're back within 5 games of 500. You got any hope for them, or is this just a little hot streak in the middle of the season?
Oh, man,
beat the White Sox 2-1.
You always have hope for them. Keep hope alive.
The Cubbies, the Phillies, the Marlins. Sitting in wild card spots now. The Marlins have come charging back a 6-game win streak of their own. Marlins beat the Mariners 8-4. Now 10 games over 500. Looking good. Looking like a playoff team. We're getting to the All-Star weekend. It's time for teams to decide, are they buying or are they selling? A lot of speculation about the Tigers. Do they have a chance or not? They have a soft schedule before the trade deadline. They go get somebody to put alongside Skubal. They move Skubal. You got a feeling for that? A vibe for that? Coin toss for them?
Depends on what the offers are.
Yeah. They are so weak that theoretically they could be in the wild card race here in another week or two. They've had a nice little run of their own here, winning 7 out of 8. We'll see if they can keep it going. Beat the Athletics 4-1. Bees lose to Sacramento 5-3. They're back at it again tonight. You can listen to the game 7:45 on 1280 The Zone. DJ and PK.
Dino crosses it in, knocked away by Mastroeni. Mario heads it back in. Due able to find Mbappe through traffic. Kylian Mbappe! 20 career World Cup goals! Gives France the lead in the quarterfinal.
I think that's why even Bono there recognizes he has no time to get across to it because the shot came off so quickly.
Here they come for more. Dembele!
Highlights as France shuts out Morocco, knocks Morocco out of the tournament in the quarters. France is on to the semis. You hear France's 2 second-half goals there. They move on to face the winner of Spain and Belgium, who will play today in the World Cup quarterfinals, and then a doubleheader on Saturday. Pablo Mastroeni will join us, talk a little World Cup, what he would do to fix that mess that was the USA. We'll talk with him about that, and RSL back in action on Wednesday night. Got a tune-up game. We'll talk with Pablo at 8 o'clock. Jake Scalley will be here at 9 o'clock. Jake didn't want Cleveland to re-up Donovan Mitchell. He and PK got into it. I guess he and I will get into it. See if we can talk some sense into Jake. Jake, what are you doing? What are you doing? That needs to be the first question. Remind me. What are you doing? What is trending? Brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. No job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we'll also be giving away tickets to see RSL play Burnley. That'll be that tune-up game on America First Field Wednesday night. And in the 9 o'clock hour, we've got a Lush Flag blanket celebrating America's 250th birthday. Size to match a standard American flag. Also an exclusive America 250 Miki Couture label created to commemorate the nation's semi-quincentennial celebration. We'll give that away in the 9 o'clock hour. So stuff to win later in the show. The question of the day is coming up next. Stay with us.
Overwhelmed? That was me with diabetes. Hey, I'm Jabron. Between teaching and coaching, managing diabetes felt like an extra job. With the Freestyle Libre 3 CGM, I get real-time glucose readings and have the insights to make informed decisions. My life feels lighter now. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
The views expressed should not be used for medical diagnosis or treatment as a substitute for professional medical advice. Individual circumstances may vary. For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
Over 2 decades of sports radio dominance in Utah. My favorite. This is DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Win big Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone with Win Tickets Wednesday. This week, win a family of 4-pack tickets to see Zach Bryan at Rice-Eccles Stadium August 7th. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Get your tickets today and listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win. DJ and PK, it is time for the question of the morning. AJ Dybantsa looking better than Darryn Peterson in the Summer League game. What did you think? Scott, pretty sure the Wizards were out to stop one guy on the court. They wanted to prove their guy was better. DP still played well.
I don't think he played well. But okay.
Tyson says, well, one guy was 7 of 18 for 27 points, and the other guy was 6 of 18 for 24 points. Pretty equal offensively.
Well, you better take that up with ESPN because right there in their top headlines, number one, Dybantsa outduels Peterson in Las Vegas debut.
Scored more points, won the game, had fewer turnovers. There you go. Not by a lot, but by enough. He outdueled him.
I do think that Dybantsa doesn't have to rely on a perimeter shot to score, where Peterson does.
Probably true there. Works out because Peterson's a better perimeter shooter. But you're right, because there were a couple times. I mean, Dybantsa had a couple of moves. The one when he drove into the hoop and dropped the ball all the way down to his knee and soared under the hoop and flicked it high off the glass, and the whole place erupted and was doing on. That was pretty slick. But there was another time the Jazz were just packing it in his zone, and he, dribbled, I don't know, it seemed like 20 times trying to get in there and then hit a fadeaway from 13 feet or something.
Right, he can do that. We've seen it.
Yep.
And his strides take up 5 feet.
I mean, didn't it look like he just changed jersey? It looked like the exact game that was on display at BYU, especially late in the season when he couldn't throw it out to Saunders for a three, and the whole defense could collapse, and he could still find a way to score.
Right.
And he averaged 25 points for BYU and led the country, and then he had 27 last night against the same type of defense. Now, he did have a couple of guys who they're in their second summers. They played a year in the NBA. And obviously, Bailey wasn't there, so he did have more guys to throw it to when they were on the court, if you care about that. But, we're breaking down the Summer League game a lot at this point. I think that just at the start especially, Peterson looked tight. I mean, he shot a three that wasn't even close early on. He had a turnover, a couple of them immediately. One, he threw a pass to a guy who clearly didn't go where he thought he was going, so it looked like he threw it to nowhere.
Rats.
Yeah.
I think that if you look at the situation, these kids know everything about it, and they know that they're the prime game, and it's ESPN. And they look over, and once you see DB,
it's on.
She can analyze a game like nobody. Look at me. Aren't I something when I say that? Because that's what you get when they all tell us how great she is. What they're really trying to say is, yeah, wow, aren't I something? And so with that in mind, the place was packed, NBA players galore. You're not going to have that here in town because there is not as much acclaim. There are fewer teams, right? And then plus you're going to get in Vegas, you're going to get former players. Paul Pierce sitting underneath the basket. Paul Pierce isn't coming to Salt Lake anytime soon. So you throw all that in there, and everybody, no matter who you are, whether you are a 10-year veteran of the Summer League or you're a 2-week veteran of the Summer League, you want to put your best foot forward. And the reason why everybody was there, the reason why they put that game at the prime time spot in Vegas was because of two guys. Your guy, our guy. Our guy, your guy. That's it. So naturally, you're going to come out fired up. And that's going to lead to a little unnatural attention that you don't have in the millions of games that you have played and will play. I mean, all eyes, even in the home debut or say game 10 in the NBA, they're not going to be on Darryn Peterson. They're going to be on Jaren Jackson. They're going to be on Markkanen and so forth, and then whoever they're playing in the 10th game. The other teams, just about every other team has somebody that is worth going to see as long as they play, and who knows if that's going to be the case. But in this situation, nobody is there to see Cody Williams. Nobody. Outside of his brother Jalen. That's it.
His brother is there.
Right?
But the NBA convention, it's essentially a convention. And you're right. They're not there to see Cody.
Nothing against him.
They're there to see the top picks in the draft. Nor do I think all those guys are sitting in the gym all day long watching 4 games in a row. They're coming to see their team play or they're coming to see the Stars. In the case of all the Wizards who are there, obviously they could do both at the same time, all the Jazz guys.
Right, and
there.
they interviewed Trae Young there because he's there. Got to have the subsequent chains around the neck, playing the part, talking about your $200 and whatever million deal, blah, blah, blah. And so, they know. Like, everybody, eyes are on you. So you came out and you didn't play your best game and you were a little off at the start. You had a turnover, a real soft turnover, like the first possession, literally the first possession. And plus, if I'm going to make a name for myself anywhere on this planet in basketball, I'm going to guard the crap out of this guy. I'm going to be up in him as much as I could possibly be. This is an opportunity for me to get a little acclaim myself. And most of these guys who are guarding him, they're not going to be on the team. Not going to be on the league. This is their shot.
And you got 10 fouls to work with, so if you got to get physical and get a foul, so be it.
Let's get physical.
Sing it.
Yeah. So, you got that. I understand that. And I want it to be as tough as possible for him, actually, in the summer. So this was a great thing to have happen. You see it. We used to be able to go and watch the practices in training camp in August for the colleges. Now they everything's shut down, or maybe they let you watch the special teams in the last 5 seconds. Well, they would put guys in the most difficult positions to try to create something to get them ready for the season. And the quarterbacks are always off limits. Well, if a D lineman got within 5 feet, they'd blow the whistle just to tick off the quarterback.
I wasn't down.
Right. They're trying to make them flustered, make them deal with some adversity and some trouble and just some circumstances that you don't get in July in the 7-on-7 or the private individual guys working out. So it's the same thing here. So I wanted to see as tough as can be for him. Now, certainly if he succeeded at the high level, that'd be awesome. But this is all about a growing situation. There is no rookie. Look at that right there. Boom. ESPN, we got the TV on, and who they showing right off the bat.
They got a studio show. They got
two guys.
Yeah, they got 2 graphics.
It's not 5 guys. It's 2 guys.
Carol, why can't they both just be reported as doing well? Why does it always have to be reported as a competition between 2 guys in a team sport? They were both good.
Because that's why they had that.
Yeah, because that's why.
Dybantsa outduels Peterson.
It is why they had it. And Carol, it's how the 2 guys see it. After the game, even though this is ridiculous, but they interviewed Dybantsa, right? Because he's the leading scorer on the winning team. And they talked to him about going against Peterson. He's like, it's the 4th time we played, and he got me the first 3. This is my first win. There's no standings for that. I think one game was Kansas and BYU. One game was a high school game. I don't know if the other one was a high school game or an AAU.
You said 2 high school. And
it was 2 high school. Okay. I didn't know the 4th game. Yeah. So, and he's keeping track that way. Everyone does. They can't help themselves. I mean, the truth is most of those guys out there are going to be in the G League or overseas playing in Europe.
Well, bless moms. They want everybody to win.
Yeah, okay. Bless you, Carol. PK just blessed you.
Yeah, me. Make sure it's me. So if it's anything
you did. You said blessed. It was very Catholic of you. I could feel the Catholic elementary school there.
But you put it on me, and I stand by it. Moms want everybody to win.
They do. I agree.
I get it. Alex, doesn't your mom want you to win?
She does. She always does. She always wants me to win.
Did you hear about the Scotty G question down in Texas? The one player, he transferred from Marshall to wherever he was going, Houston, I think. Yeah, man, and your dad played at Marshall, and you went to Marshall, and I'm sure he was really happy. And then he must have been really upset when you wanted to leave, at least at first, because that was his school. We are Marshall, blah, 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 blah. What'd your dad say to you when you transferred? He's dead.
Downer. Oops.
Not that Scotty was supposed to know that the guy's father passed. That it would have been
awkward.
Yeah. But under the circumstances, it wasn't that awkward. He handled it well. I mean, how's some out-of-town dude supposed to know that this guy will be the only time ever
that you talk.
What was awkward was a couple of times that we had guys and they were introduced as somebody else.
That's awkward. Yep, that's awkward.
Because there's been a miscommunication. I did have one little awkward thing. There was a receiver or DB from Arizona, and I had the other guy's name on my computer, so I was thinking of him, even though I knew. And I said, "So you followed Brennan to Arizona?" No, I didn't. And I quickly, "Oh yeah, that's right," because I'm looking at the other guy.
Right.
And you're a Phoenix guy, and I knew where you went to high school.
Yeah.
So you didn't follow him. I corrected myself real quick.
Derek says they pressed DP for 94 feet every time he had the ball, and there's no other threat for him to dish it to, so Washington could continue with the double team and aggressive D on him. Also, AJ had most of his points at the stripe, which now are 2 points instead of 1. It's a misrepresentation of my view, and my view is usually worthless anyhow. Smiling, giggling emoji.
I like how already the defense of Darryn Peterson has started. He's our guy, and you can't criticize. Everybody else can make horrible trades and horrible signings with the salary cap, but our people don't. No, they had to do it, and it was a great move. And over here, you're already defending Darryn Peterson at the expense of A.J. Dybantsa. Now, maybe that might be some Ute fans in there, and they don't want to give the Cougar legend. You can't be a legend if you played one season. It's simple as that. You are not a legend if you played one season. It was a transaction. You were here, you're gone. Yeah. Nobody says Arizona Wildcat legend Lowry Markkanen. Nobody. Nobody says that.
Another one and done.
Yeah. And that's the way the system requires them to do, so they do it. Look, they're just breaking it down like crazy here. They got the chubby guy on there to talk about that. He's in. They got a picture of San Francisco in the back or New York in the background. So yeah, it was the story for sure. And Peterson had a little more struggle, and they defended him. They defended him more than that. I think they picked him up as soon as he came out of the locker room in the tunnel.
Nice.
So it was like 107 feet.
Love that cliche. Mike says Darryn had an off night, but he's still only 3 points shy of Dybantsa. The way each was defended was massively different. I'm happy with our guy. He's got to work on breaking double teams, though. Well, that's what Summer League is for.
Quote, our guy. I rest my case.
Our guy.
That's awesome that they've already latched onto him, and you're going to defend him now, virtually at any cost.
Josh says, hey, anyone who watched it would agree. If the Wiz didn't take AJ, the Jazz would have had him. If they're number one instead of the Wiz, they're taking him. But I'm excited for DP and Bailey.
Me too.
Sounds like Josh likes both those guys a lot. Eric, they blitzed DP all night. No attempt to even double AJ. Not a big deal. They can't do that in a normal NBA game. I bet they can.
Why would they, though?
Well, what will happen in the NBA game is if he turns it over, they'll have someone else and it won't continue on. Whereas in the Summer League, if he turned it over against the double team, odds were he's going to bring it up the next possession or the one after that. Whereas in the regular season, if this keeps happening, I don't think they'll have him keep bringing it up.
Okay, but why would they double team him though? I mean, you corrected the problem. Why would the problem exist in the first place?
Because if the opposing team thinks he's going to turn it over, that's why they double him. They think he'll cough it up.
Yeah, but you can double a big man and he doesn't bring the ball up. Why would you double him at all? You just throw the ball to somebody else, and now you got a numbers advantage.
Well, because they don't think he can throw the ball to somebody else.
Oh.
I mean, if he
can't
does
throw the ball,
if he beats the double team with a pass, they'll stop doubling him.
No, I'm talking about when he gets the ball on the wing and they're already in the set. That's when you're in scoring position.
Right, yeah. And I think that would
Nobody double teams anybody at half court unless the game is on the line.
If they think he's going to turn it over and he's bringing the ball up, they'll find a way.
Nobody does that, though. In the first quarter, nobody does that. No one does that. In the regular season, there is no – guys will look at the coach and say, What are you talking about? I'm going to be dead here.
It's more when you run the pick and roll between half court and between the top of the key.
When you're
likely
trying
to see that double.
score, right. Not bring the ball up.
Well, when you're starting the offense 35 feet from the hoop, they will double you.
No, they won't. Not in November and January, and no, they won't. They don't play that hard.
Colin says, if this is a bad night for DP, I'll still take it.
Yeah, I love the defensive. Our guy, man.
Ryan, it's a summer league. Take it easy, boys.
We take it as they come, and this is how it
came. Right. Brady, they both look pretty equal, honestly. DP had the turnovers, yes, but it's summer league. Who really cares?
Well, then why would you say they look equal if you really care, if you don't care? They care.
David, I agree. AJ had the better game, but it shows you how good DP is because he had a bad game and he nearly matched AJ's stats. But his team didn't win the game. It's all about the W's and the L's. Randy, it's a single game, gentlemen, and I use that term loosely.
Well, hold on loosely.
I feel like you're halfway to some lyrics there.
Oh, yeah, it is a single. They're not playing a best of 7 here.
Thank goodness.
Every game is a single game until the playoffs.
Jesse says bad nights happen. It's all part of the learning process. That's what Summer League is there for. Make some mistakes and learn from them.
Well, it comes down to will A.J. Dybantsa or is he a better player? Now, you can't claim that the Jazz made a bad move because they didn't have the opportunity to get him. It is more on the Wizards because they had an opportunity to get whoever they wanted. Everybody else didn't. Did they make the right move? And then you go from the Jazz perspective, it's not Dybantsa, it's Wilson and Boozer and whomever else you want to put in there. All the handful of guys that were selected afterward that you may have thought. Or when we look back in 5 years, somebody who was a middle or late round pick, why didn't you pick him? You know, have to see how that plays out. So right now, if you're going to compare the two and one guy's better, well, that's the guy that the other team took. So the Jazz, they have no accountability for that. They took their guy. I mean, I think that you have to look at the thing that got me was him saying after the game that he didn't have fun playing in Kansas because he wasn't on the ball. And is he good enough to be on the ball to the level that he wants? Because if he isn't, then he's going to play off the ball, and is he going to take himself out of games and blah, blah, blah. You wonder, when he made that statement, and you can go hear it. Why don't you look to find it too, Alex? We can play it later. When he made that statement, one of the things that came to my mind, I don't feel 100% because I'm not playing the role I want to. So that, and I don't know if that's true, but that's a thought that came into my mind when I heard him say that. And if he would have been playing on the ball, does he sit out the second half against BYU? Does he sit out those two handfuls of other games? Now, maybe he does. And maybe that cramping and all that stuff, that was legitimate and it forced him to get to the sideline and not play. I don't know any of that.
Don't know that it's linked. But even if it's not linked, if it is linked, clearly that's a problem. It's a big old red flag. Even if it's not linked, I mean, the history of the NBA, just the history of the basketball, including your pickup game, the teammate who isn't happy because he doesn't have the ball all the time is a hard teammate to play with. They drag down the energy of the group. They take selfish shots because they feel like it's my turn. I'm not on the ball, so now it is my turn. It messes everything up. You got to have as much fun or be as committed or play as hard or whatever expression you want to use or all of them combined, whether you have the ball some of the time, most of the time, all the time. How much you have the ball, that can totally lead to selfish basketball. And selfish basketball isn't usually fun to watch, and it isn't usually winning basketball. So You need to be having fun whether the ball is in your hands or not. Nobody really wants to come out of a game, but nobody can play 48 minutes games, so you can't pout when you come out. And Alex, if you missed it, he's got it for you right now.
It's been good. I'm back having fun. I wasn't really experiencing that as much at Kansas. I was off at the time, so just to feel like myself again. Being on the ball, that's what comes with it, being double team and different coverages. So keep adjusting.
And right now, after a mere 3 games, in the NBA, I don't think he's good enough to have the ball all the time. 8 turnovers in 2 of the 3 games.
Not good enough.
No, and that's way too many.
Yep.
That doesn't mean that he can't improve by any stretch. And I want, as I said earlier, him to struggle now. I don't really want it to come so easily. I don't want him to get an inflated sense of, boy, this is easier than I thought. No, I want him to think this is hard. And then you work hard to overcome it. So pile up the turnovers now. Pile up the mistakes now.
Yep.
That's what they're there for. And one of the ways to improve is to struggle. They can go hand in hand.
And the
struggle, improve.
And the vast majority of young players go through exactly that. They struggle and then they improve. And he's already been told that because he said in one of his interviews here in Salt Lake before they went down to Vegas, talking to Keontae, before they even played the first Summer League game, those two went to dinner. What'd you talk about? We talked about, adjusting the league. And Keontae said, however hard you think it is, it's 10 times that. So this is part of the 10 times that.
Yeah.
You're going to throw the ball and turnover goes to you, and you're like, but that guy didn't cut where he was supposed to. Yeah, well, welcome to the NBA. It happens,
Mm-hmm.
You get doubled, and you would have gotten rid of the ball, and you would have gotten stripped, but you didn't throw the ball because you saw your guy wasn't cutting where he was supposed to be.
Or you made the mistake on your own. It wasn't somebody else's
fault. Or you
fault.
dribble off your foot while you're driving in the hoop, and it goes out of bounds because all of a sudden everything's faster, and you're trying to play at a different pace, and you make a mistake that we didn't see you make when the athletes weren't as good and they weren't as big and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he's dribbled off his foot in that game in Vegas. He dribbled off his foot up here in Salt Lake. And I bet he's gone through life not dribbling off his own foot very often. But now it's happening. Guys are bigger, faster, more physical. So it's like Keontae said, everything's 10 times harder. And you just
Plus,
gotta figure it out.
you are, without question, the marked man. You're not going to be the marked man in the NBA right off the bat. There'll be some acclaim that you will have and some attention.
But they'll be trying to figure out how to match up with Markkanen and Jackson and Keontae.
Yeah. And now it's all about you.
Yeah. And at some point, Ace will walk by you and go, I know, dude, that was me last year. So
that's great. And keep battling, man. That's really all I want to see. And he's got to make baskets. He made a few baskets. I mean, he missed a few shots, and his shots come and go to an extent. But he made enough of them. I want to see what he's going to do in the face of struggle. That's to me, that's what it's about. Because then, I don't think he'll receive as much attention in the regular season at the start. Maybe year 2, 3, 4, 5, you want him to, because that means he's fulfilled his description of being a big-time player. So get to that point. But for right now, no. But in the summer, yes.
DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Pablo Mastroeni, RSL head coach at 8 o'clock. More hoops with Jake Scott at 9 o'clock. DJ and PK, stay with us right here on The Zone.
Nobody brings you better coverage of the teams you're passionate about than these guys.
Try some more.
This is DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Join Scotty G and the coach today, 10 to 2. They're going to be at Tim Dolly Mazda in Sandy, 10785 South Auto Mall Drive. DJ and PK. PK, there are other stories beyond Darryn Peterson. Hard to believe. One of them, Cody Williams, How much better is he going to get this season? What are the Jazz going to think of him? Because it's clear there's going to be a money crunch coming up. He's making about $6 million. He has an option for next year. They got to decide whether to pick it up or not. It's clear there's a crunch for roster spots. Is he a guy who's going to make a big leap and they want? Is he a guy who's going to make a little leap and probably play somewhere else in the league as they get crunched for money and playing time and all that kind of spot stuff? Is he a guy who's going to bounce out of the league? I don't know what. The main guy to watch in the Summer League is Peterson, but I have been watching Cody, and it's Summer League, and he's got 2 years of experience, and other guys don't. So it's hard to make much out of this. I'm wondering if you have a feel for it or not, because you can feel the decision coming, but I wonder what they're thinking, and a lot of it may just be TBD. It's just like, well, let's see what he does in November, December, January, and then we'll have a better idea.
Well, I think by the fact that he's playing Summer League tells you that he's down the food chain.
Yeah.
Because Sensabaugh isn't playing, Collier isn't playing, Filipowski isn't playing. So that's 3 guys right there. And then we know the core 6, whether Ace Bailey starts or Peterson starts, if one doesn't put them in at the 6th spot. So that's that right there. We're at 10 now. And
down the food chain is a good, and you're not going to make $6 million and be down the food chain. They're going to have to. Assuming Keontae George follows up on what he did, they're going to have to pay him more, a lot more, way more. I mean, they're going to have to come up with that cash somewhere, and it could be Cody's, some of it.
Cody makes more than George right now.
So when you have to give somebody a, $15, $20, $25, $30 million pay raise, whatever it is.
I think that shakes out itself, though.
Yeah.
I don't think that's anything to worry about.
Do you see it shaking out now? Do you see Cody making a big step forward?
No. I don't think as the 10th player, you're going to have the opportunity to make a big step forward. George made a big step forward because the minutes played were there plenty for him to do that. For Williams, no. He could be the greatest player, but he's not going to get 25 minutes a game. It's just not going to happen.
Most games.
Every game.
No, I think some games he will. I think they're going to have so many guys miss games. I mean, I'm just resigned to that.
Okay, so I didn't even put the CV Mahula guy in there. And so he's there.
What was his name?
And then you all love the Lion King because he hustles.
Those guys
so
are all...
that's now we're down to 12. So no, I don't see him most games. Yeah, most games being like 75.
If you can't beat out Svi and Conchar, then you're going to be leaving town.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a big dilemma. It'll sort itself out. And they sign a Kogi. Now I'm down to 13
guys. Yeah.
There's no way in hell he's going to get 25 minutes a game. And now that you thought about it, you've retracted that. You just haven't said it.
No, I think the odds are he's gone. But
then you ain't getting 25 minutes a game if you're gone.
But there'll be a chance to go out and show you're better.
No.
Oh, no chance. He'll be buried all year. Yeah. Okay.
You want me to just repeat what I said, Alex?
Yeah,
just re-roll what I just said.
We'll put in some of that crowd noise from the hallway, too.
Save some of the...
sounds more authentic when it's sketchy.
Save the time and my breath, because I'm running out of breath here.
All right.
And then you factor in the backup center. Now we're at 15. Where's he going to get out on the floor?
Well, I don't think it has to do with backup center. I think the other point about Conchar and Svi and Akoji, I think they clearly have him in front of Cody right now. So Cody's got a lot of people to beat out.
Bang, how do you say that guy? They got half the guys on the dance roster. I don't know. I'm not going to learn their names. Oscar Tashiwe? I mean, come on. Where's this guy fit in? Kevin Love, if they re-sign him?
I don't think they re-sign Kevin Love.
Hence if. And who's he going to take minutes from?
Somebody who doesn't defend. That'll be when he gets his call at some point during this season.
Josh Okogie? He's Josh Okogie.
that he is. All right, DJ PK, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll have more on the Jazz with Jake Scott coming up at 9 o'clock. He'll join us and talk NBA contracts and what the heck went wrong in Cleveland in his mind. Pablo Mastroeni, we'll get to that at 9. Pablo Mastroeni, RSL head coach, joins us next. A little World Cup and RSL back in action Wednesday night. Stay with us.
This is Utah's best coverage of the Utes, Cougars, Jazz, and Mammoth. Here we go. From the Guys who have been there for all the biggest moments in Utah sports history. You're listening to DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Time to welcome Pablo Mastroeni back to the show. He's had a little break during the World Cup, but RSL's back at it Wednesday. They've got a little tune-up game before they jump back into league play. Pablo, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Pablo, before we get to your team, it has been a World Cup break here, and I know you played in the World Cup, and you're emotionally invested in the team, and that had to be a big old kick in the teeth. Not just that they lost. I mean, they were always going to lose at some point, but they didn't go out battling the way Mexico did. They didn't go out scrapping and fighting the way Egypt did. Those two lost with dignity, and they entertained us while they lost. And sometimes when you battle like that, you're like Switzerland, and you get the penalties, and you win and you advance. Instead, they got drilled. And I'm thinking that everyone's worried about the third goal, which was a whole horrendous goalkeeping mistake. But when that first goal drops between three U.S. players, the ball drops and no one reacts, and one other guy steps up and crosses it in front and it's a tap-in, I'm thinking you lost your mind, because I've heard you talk about goals like that, and they kill you.
Yeah. I think that first goal kind of encapsulates the way the whole game went, which was on both sides of the ball, we were like one step behind, and again, I think there's moments in games that kind of highlight where your mentality is, right? And you saw three guys not going for the ball in that one play, but you had one Belgian guy that was daring and brave enough to step through. And it kind of like that moment, I think that player for Belgium really set the tone from a mentality perspective as to how we're going to be on the front foot. And the three U.S. players kind of looking up in the air and thinking the other guy was going to do it kind of is metaphorically saying, I'm not going to take responsibility for this. You do it. And I think that was kind of the disappointing part of the game, and I think the other part too is, and we talked about this a little bit, all three host countries, they got great draws as far as their group play. And to be fair, the one game where U.S. was going to always be tested was going to be Turkey. And then they played a different group. And so there wasn't a whole lot to extrapolate from the group play as to when they encounter a really good team, right? And then Bosnia, obviously a team that squeaked into the World Cup. That was a good draw for the U.S. as well. And I think all three games that the U.S. won, they played a certain way, and they forced our opponents to play a certain way. When you get to the tougher stages, you're not going to dictate to Argentina, to Brazil, to the big clubs, the big countries. They have a style of play that you have to also be aware of. And so I think we caught Belgium on a day where they were motivated, and obviously the Bulligan situation, I think, added fire to their belief. And they had something bigger to play for. And, I think the U.S. just started the game off in a really kind of doubtful way, and it permeated through the rest of the 90 minutes. And I think that's where you're saying, we kind of fell flat. And so it's a tough way to go out. I think there's a ton of bright spots that, after the emotional pain kind of subsides, there's a lot of really bright spots for the U.S. national team, some individual players, and really the direction that we need to move in to continue to be a really good World Cup team.
So you say you started the game in a doubtful way, and that jumps out to me. So that sounds like if a team does that, it's basically the situation could be where they're beat before they even start. So how do you get that, even if you have to trick yourself that you're not in that doubtful way and you're dealing it from a position of confidence?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think the easiest way to do that, I think, is it's not going to be with the ball. It's going to be against the ball, because I think that moment, I think what oftentimes ignites a team is a great defensive tackle, is something that's questionable, where the ref is maybe giving a yellow card to you because you were really, really aggressive. And now it kind of revs the engines up a little bit, like it heightens your senses. And I just felt like too often from a defensive standpoint, we were either, pressing when we shouldn't have been, or we were kind of caught in between players, and it was Belgium, and to be fair, Belgium did a great job where they knew that the U.S. wanted to press. So Belgium would bait them all the way back to their goalkeeper. They'd move their whole lines forward. And then Belgium said, we're not going to fall for this. We're going to go over your back line. And there hadn't been a team in the World Cup that had threatened the back line. And now you see a player like Tim Ream, who, again, had a fantastic World Cup. But when you're up against speedsters that also have great quality and balls in behind, and you're running now back to your goal to defend, it's asking a lot of questions. So I would say how you get back into it is a moment where the fan base gets involved, right? Whether it's a great attacking play and, the guys are throwing their arms up in the air like follow us, or it's a great defensive play where as a group you're saying, this is the moment, this is where we put our flag in the ground. This is it. You're coming to here, and then from there on, you're going to get bit. You're going to get, you're going to catch a foot. But there wasn't really a moment of that could change the game at any point. And I think that's why we kind of went along with the momentum that Belgium was playing at.
Okay, so a story, a problem, and then I'll ask you for the answer. The story is a hilarious Dybantsa story, which he tells much better than I'm about to. But he talks about how when he was a kid and these youth national setups and that kind of deal, they'd all do the training and watch the film, and it was really hard work and the hardest thing they'd ever been up against, right? And then they finally have time to kind of bond as a group and go to the mall or whatever. And they'd be walking out, and there'd be one kind of weird kid in the group who was over there juggling or doing some little drill with cones or whatever. He says, yeah, that weird kid, he grew up to be Landon Donovan and score like 57 goals for the U.S. national team. And Dunny would laugh like, yeah, we all missed the boat. It was the million touches that he got that we didn't that made him special and we weren't. And I hear people talk about the U.S. will be good in soccer when they have the best athletes. But I think it's about getting the bazillion touches so you can make the ball do whatever you want. That goal Mbappe scored in the quarterfinal, he couldn't see the goal. The defender was there. He bends the ball around the defender and hits the post, and it goes in. And he knew it. He was celebrating before it happened because he's had those million touches as a kid. We have 30 academies now where anybody can play for free, but mostly it's pay for play. Until we have 300 academies. I know it's a nation of 350 million people, but we're not really scouring 350 million people for 11 soccer players. I mean, right. We're not. So is there another path, or do there have to be? I don't know that there was an academy anywhere near Thunderbird High for you and PK. You somehow made it through, but I mean, doesn't it have to be an academy on the west side of Phoenix, on the east side, and not just one, halfway between Tucson and Phoenix out in the middle of nowhere in Casa Grande?
No, that's actually a great question, and I can actually answer it from a personal perspective, and really interesting. So I had a club coach. His name was Luis Dabo, and he came from he was born in Guinea-Bissau, played professionally in Portugal, played at a really, really high level. Then he got into coaching in indoor soccer in the MISL, and then he ended up in Arizona coaching youth soccer. And he had a philosophy that was way ahead of its time, and he took a lot of the Portuguese philosophy for developing young players, which is exactly what you're talking about, which is touches. So every day for the first hour of training, we had a 2-hour training session Monday through Thursday as kids. The first hour was you and your ball. And so it was left foot, right foot. It was trapping. It was kicking the ball up in the air to yourself, bringing it down, trapping, changing your speed. And then we got into passing, and then it was like two guys, one ball, creating movements, and you had to do this all within the center circle of a soccer field, right? So it's not the biggest space, and there could be up to like 40 people in there at any one time. And so you're working your passing technique, you're working your dribbling technique for the first hour inside that circle. As kids, it was the most boring, mundane. It was the worst. Right? Because we all want to shoot. We all want to play. We don't really want to work on our technique. But he did it. And the amount of kids that would leave the club is incredible. They said, no, we're going to this other club. And they'd go to the other club. But what was amazing, within 1 year, they would always be back. And the whole thing was because our team started to get we weren't good when we were young. But as we got to 15, we got to 16, we got to 17, we ended up going to the national tournament. And I think we finished second in nationals as an under-17 youth team. And it wasn't because tactically we were astute. As a matter of fact, he never coached tactics. The only thing he'd coach is individual one-on-ones, individual technique. And that made, and I think from our club team, we sent, I think, 12 players to Division I schools across the country. And this is 1994, right? And it didn't matter what position you played, because if you can control the ball, if you understood where to pass the ball, if you understood how to manipulate this thing, the college coach could say, we need a left back, or we need a midfielder, or we need a winger. It didn't matter. We were all capable of doing that. And so I think what you're explaining, what you're talking about, is exactly the philosophy of the youth coach I had. But the problem with that is he didn't care about winning games. And now when people pay to play, they care about winning, right? The parents live vicariously through their kids, and they say they want to be able to go to the barbecue at the weekend and be like, oh, we won 4-0. And it's not like Travis won 4-0. It's we won 4-0, you know? And so I think it's a huge cultural thing. And now this generation of parents are super involved, where back when I was growing up, my parents would drop me off at soccer and that was it. Or I got a ride with someone to soccer, or I went with another family to tournaments. It's not like that anymore. And so the involvement of the parents, I think, is a big issue with that. And the other part too is, if you pay, you want to win. And that's winning at a young age is synonymous with my money's worth it. It's not about developing young players. And then the other part to this, and sorry, this is so long-winded, but the coaching piece is every coach at the youth level wants to be a Premier League coach. So the first thing they're coaching is tactics. How do we beat this under 18? Because they're going to be a swarm of bees in the middle of the field. So how do we align ourselves, along the outside and make them run and then attack the goal, right? It's not. So my point is that the most important thing is the story about Landon, which is 1 million touches. And the environment and the culture that exists today in soccer in America doesn't provide 1 million touches. And so unless you're going to be the odd guy that's out there juggling on your own when everyone else is going to the mall, it's going to be very hard to get to that level. And so, but I think, so I don't know what the answer is, DJ, but I hear you. I lived it. And it was one of the reasons why I was able to move on in my career, because I played 1 million different positions. But one thing I always had was a good control of the ball and a good understanding of how to manipulate it.
Well, that was deep, Pablo. So here I come. Do you think the U.S. coach looked like Russell Crowe, like I did?
Yeah, I thought so too. That's what we called him, the Argentinian Russell Crowe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was calling him. And he wore the same costume every game, which was pretty. He played the part every game.
I did tell my wife at one point, he looks like a high school art teacher. He looks like he should. Ceramics on Tuesday, kids.
And then he turned into Russell Crowe when he kicked the water bottles. That was the action part.
Yeah, excellent. All right, well, the World Cup will go on without the United States here. It'll be over soon, and Major League Soccer will be back at it. You've got a game Wednesday with Burnley, a little tune-up game here to get you going. And I think that the challenge in front of you, and you know this well, I won't recount all the numbers. Last year, after the League's Cup break, the team had been playing really well, and then they lost 5 out of 6. And I won't recount all the numbers going back, but that's not the first summer that's happened where you were flying spring, early summer, you have a break, and you never recapture the magic. So I know you know all those numbers, and you probably know them better than I do, and I'm sure you're trying something different this year so the team keeps playing the way it was because, again, you were having a really good run. What are you doing so this doesn't happen again?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think, I think we have a good snapshot of the first third of the season where we're able to now go, these are the things that we're doing well. These are the areas we struggled in, and we talked about it. Set pieces has been an area. We revamped our defensive set piece setup. So that's been, and we put it on display at a couple days ago in Minnesota, which was really good. The other part is one of the areas is how do we manage games? Not just, again, with leads, without leads, when it's 0-0, is like how do we manage games and create control? Where I thought a lot of the good games we played, we had a lot of great control. But then when we had the lead, it felt like we were just ceding a lot of territory and really relying on Hoffa to be the guy that solved the problems closer to our goal, which was great when it worked, but when it didn't, we gave our opponents a lot of territory. And so, again, that was something that we saw from, the last month of work here in Minnesota, which was really good. And I think those two things are really the biggest things. We've conceded close to 40% of our goals from set pieces, right? So that obviously, if the numbers are, if we didn't concede any set piece goal in the first part, we'd be 6 points ahead in the table, in the league, right? So that's an area that if we don't address, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So, and then the control piece and continuing to think about how we can be a more fluid attacking team, continue to create great opportunities. And again, we just went to Minnesota. We put 4 in the back of the net in 4. We played 3 45-minute periods. So that part's good. So there's a lot of things that are the work is kind of showing through, but I think this Burnley game will be a great test for us. Obviously, a team that's has been playing at a much higher level. Obviously, different players probably from the time they're in the Prem, but it'll be a great challenge for us and a game where we can continue to fine tune the different areas of the game that we're working on.
During this past few weeks and so forth, what was required of the guys in terms of a schedule?
Yeah, to be fair, the guys have been all in when, we gave them 3 weeks off, and then we were in, 5 days a week and usually gave the guys 2 days off. But again, I think it was just being really deliberate of like, do we want to be a top team in this league? And if it is, then there's no substitute for working hard and being deliberate about the work that you're doing. And the guys have been all in, and we've made the sessions to where it's not the tactics are actually a part of the exercise. It's kind of built in, and then we've been doing video sessions to recap, and the guys have been all in. And the one thing I would say, PK, is you never know how guys are going to come back from break, but they were all fit, they were all hungry. And again, for me, the proof is always in the game. You can talk about the environment and training and all these things, but are you seeing the things that you want in the game? Are they playing with excitement? Are they playing hard for each other? And those things were on full display a couple days ago. So I think it's been a great reset for us to identify those areas. But more importantly, the guys have just taken it on. And like I always talk about, great teams are led by the players and they're guided by the coaches. And that's what it feels like at the moment.
Burnley was in the English Premier League. They got relegated, so now they'll be in the championship here this coming season. And I've heard Garth Lagerwey has gotten involved with that club, former Real Salt Lake general manager back when they won the Cup in 2009. Have you talked much with Garth? Was he part of putting this together? What's his role with Burnley? Can you answer any of those questions, Pablo?
All I can answer is I think you're right about the Garth Lagerwey being involved. I know Jason Kreis was instrumental in making this game happen. And he's got a really good relationship with Garth. Right. So that would be a great question for Jason as to the details of how all that happened.
Yeah. All right, here's my contribution. I'm going to read you some song lyrics.
Uh-oh.
Hey, all you Chiefs, come on and fight. We've got the team with all the might. We've got the score. We'll get some more. We'll get the victory in our sight. Hey, all you Chiefs, we are the best in all the North, South, East, and West. We are the team that runs with speed and fame, and that's why Thunderbird will win this game. That's our fight song.
The crazy thing is, I remember parts of that. That's crazy.
So I remember. Since you went to Thunderbird High School and PK went to Thunderbird High School and I didn't, I just have to time travel to, well, you went in different decades. I have to time travel to the different decades you were there. Basically, should I just picture myself in Minnesota seeing those fans sing Wonderwall? Was it pretty much the same thing, Pablo?
It wasn't the same thing. It was much more, it's hard to explain, DJ. One of these days the three of us should all meet back at Thunderbird High. And there's a little mountain at the top with a big T. You know how they do those. You know, they paint the mountain.
Right over by the tennis courts.
Is that like the hill they climb at ASU football games to watch for free?
Yeah, we have
the
a
same
T
deal
right there.
Do people climb those to watch Thunderbird games for free? Is it the same deal?
They can actually walk into the little stadium.
Yeah, I was going to say there wasn't that much of a demand for tickets.
All right, Pablo.
But the baseball field was right along Thunderbird Road, and so when we were out there many times, usually just in practice because there were no fans, you'd get kids from other schools that would drive by, particularly if they're going west, so the passengers are there. You suck, you're awful. Well, we used to get that all the time.
That's good stuff.
All right. Well, thanks for the lyrics, PK. I'm now looking at Google Maps, and I can see the road that zigs right around the baseball field. PK's told me all about
Thunderbird.
it. Yeah, Thunderbird High.
Yeah.
All right, those are the days. All right, Pablo, Wednesday night, Real Salt Lake back at it at home against Burnley, and then give it another week, and you'll be off and running. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Always fun. Take care.
All right, there's Pablo Mastroeni, RSL head coach.
If we do that trip, let's make it in February or March.
I totally agree. I'm open to December and January, by the way. August, no thank you. Did Tucson in August once, and it's not even as hot as Phoenix, and it was way hotter than anything I needed. That was the longest walk from the car to my college roommate's apartment.
Well, it was plenty hot there, yeah.
It was plenty hot. All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott's going to join us coming up at 9 o'clock. He believes Cleveland blew it when they re-signed Donovan Mitchell. Can't wait to talk to him about that. DJ and PK will be giving away tickets to see RSL and Burnley on the other side of this break. Stick around for that. Stay with us right here on The Zone.
Over 2 decades of sports radio dominance in Utah. My favorite. This is DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, as promised, let's give away tickets. A 5-pack to see Real Salt Lake play Burnley from the English Championship. Caller 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-ZONE. The game is Wednesday night, 7:30 at America First Field. You'll hear it here on The Zone. All right, PK, you spent the break talking about Pablo at Thunderbird High. I had some questions for you. It's hilarious that you two went to the same high school. And but you got fascinated with something else. What's going on over there?
Well, it made me think of home.
Sure.
So I called up the Arizona Republic and checked out the obituaries.
It's so uplifting. Well, thank you.
2 women in the same day published have the first name of Eugenia, Eugenia.
Oh.
How about that?
That's an old school name. I did not.
Eugenia.
I did not grow up around any Eugenias. I'm not even sure I know how to spell it.
I just spelled it for you.
I don't think I could, even though you just spelled it for me. I know you gave me the answer, and I still.
Eugenia Sucher, 75, Paradise Valley, and Eugenia Quinteros, age 64, Phoenix. And then I saw one from your wife name and a woman 96, good long life, Allie Honey Franklin.
Honey.
Is it right there? Allie Honey Franklin.
It's not my wife's name. It's just how I refer to her on the show. It's not her name.
I thought that was her name. You
Honey?
call her Honey.
I do.
Yeah. Well, there you go, man. I always check out the obit, see if there's anybody I know. Everybody's got a story. I like stories.
I know you do.
A lot of times the obits have stories.
One constant, 25 years doing this show, PK's been reading obits to me during commercial breaks. Back to the days when Alex was, 2, 1.
I may have read his
diaper.
birth announcement. Who knows?
Yeah, in his diaper. Were you born in the year 2000 or 2001?
I was born in 99.
99.
His birthday's in November, so he's going to turn 27 November 6th.
Got it. Okay.
I check out my
Scorpios.
producers.
Those are the
I
best.
want to know what's going on.
Scorpios rule.
I hate all people who are born in November.
That'd be you and me, dog.
And Scotty.
Oh, Scotty G's in November also, yes.
And I hate him with a passion.
That's obvious.
Ever since he was born.
Thank you, Morgan.
Little take
AKA Ford. Got to quit referring to Morgan when you've got Ford.
Ford Scalley?
Yeah.
And they were down there talking about, the extremes of the rivalry and blah, blah, blah. The extremes are never going to go away. So these guys are buddies, and BYU fans hated Whittingham. He wouldn't say BYU. He was a turncoat, blah, blah, blah. Scalley isn't like that. He's a Utah guy through and through. You can respect that. He stayed true to his school and loyal and all that stuff. But the game is still the game, and the trash talking and the trash talking, in moderation is fine. But the over-the-top stuff is ridiculous, and everybody agrees with it, but it's not going to go away.
True story.
Yeah.
I would bet anything that there will be massive trash talking here shortly. I mean, we're in summer league mode right now, and you put up a football question, you put up a basketball question, and the people voted. Overwhelmingly, people are into basketball. But that's going to be done in 2 weeks. It'll be all football, and the trash talking will commence without a doubt. And we'll all agree it's over the top, and people shouldn't post up anonymously. You know what will happen? Someone will anonymously post something that is over the top. It's guaranteed.
Someone will ask, someone did ask Yarmark, there's going to be some meeting to discuss the Fetch the Mormons comments. That's not going to go away.
No, it is not.
I mean, the NFL tried. They put in the back of the end zone end racism.
They did what they could.
They gave it their best shot.
It's not gonna yield the results they crave.
Nothing from that perspective will ever be eliminated.
Sadly, I believe that to be true.
Now, it could be reduced and improved, but I don't know.
But history says it always kind of cycles. It gets reduced and improved, but then it gets louder and nastier.
It's all up to the individuals. And then
right.
when you factor in alcohol during the games, there's going to be nasty things. And they'll continue to have alcohol. And in some places, they'll sell alcohol because they can make money. And then they'll preach to you. The people who make the money off the alcohol will preach to you proper fan behavior. But they're not really interested in proper fan behavior at the expense of their pockets.
Hey, now. There's this word.
That's truth.
The P word. Profits.
Yeah.
Want our profits.
Right. And they make money off of that. If they were serious, they would not have that. But they'll tell you they're serious, but not at the expense of their money.
They could do that. They could not sell booze in the stadium.
But they won't.
They could ban booze in the parking lot before the game.
But
which,
they won't.
With tailgating can be a big deal, especially for the NFL.
They don't even do it at BYU.
See what you did there? They could take away season tickets from people. They could hire twice as many ushers, right? And they live in an era when there's cameras everywhere.
I would hire armed security.
But they're not going to take away the season tickets. They're not going to ban it in the parking lot. They're not. Nope. It's going to keep happening.
Yeah. So you will continue to have that. And as much as Ford and Kalani's got a big old first name too. It's just Kalani, I think, is at the end. If you go look at it, like Keo Kalani, then these guys, these will be the best of friends ever as head coaches.
Ooh. Will Morgan and Kalani be tighter than Mack and Lavelle?
They already are.
Really?
Whew. And then you factor in when they're both done. I think Kalani's got him by 5 years.
So when they both get to 80 and they quit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the Coach and Scotty show on Fridays with former coaches Kalani Sitake and Morgan Ford Scalley.
It'll be a podcast by then, PK. Radio will be dead.
Oh, it won't.
Okay.
It will not be dead. It will still be there. And there'll still be cars. And, yeah, this is the tightest rivalry coach connection in the history of BYU Utah.
Because they actually worked together in a film room late at night, breaking down tape.
Same side of the ball.
The bonds that were built. Yeah, both defensive coaches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Morgan would have been the safeties coach, I guess, at that point when Kalani was defensive coordinator.
Yeah. So yeah, they're tighter than Kalani was with Kyle because Kyle was sort of a mentor, and so it was sort of big brotherish.
And the age gap's
almost like fathers.
The age gap 15 years.
It's about 15. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you got an age gap of 5 years.
Yeah.
And
you're peers.
Right.
Yeah, you are literal peers. And so from that perspective, if you're looking for it to just be a game rather than bleep you, no bleep you, blah, 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 this might be the time. But I don't think – and it's always just the, obviously the small minority that are out of hand. But I don't think the out-of-hand stuff will be eliminated. The bright side is it could be much worse. To my knowledge, I don't think there's been literal fisticuffs in the stands. And you see that in every NFL stadium now. It's like on Sunday nights, Mondays.
Yeah, don't argue this.
Yeah.
Just go to social media. It's all confirmed.
Right.
Yeah, and some of it, I don't want to say I get it and I understand it.
I don't get it. I don't understand it.
I know. But there's some of it that is more incredible to me than others. When I see 49er and Raider fans throwing punches in the stands wearing gear during a preseason game, I don't get it. But I got to say, at SoFi, when I see people fighting and nobody's wearing any gear, and I'm thinking, you didn't even have an NFL team. How much can you hate? I mean, are you literally going there looking for a fight?
No, you're going there looking to get drunk.
And
then you get drunk.
And it's raining, and
it goes
it's leaking on the
on.
stairs on concourse, and people are slipping and falling, and it was the most bizarre thing you could ever see. I watched it in fascination. It's just,
I've watched it firsthand.
The dome leaks, and you people are swinging at people I don't think you even know, just walking down the concourse wanting to get in. It was weird.
Yeah.
So, yes, it could be worse.
Now, there might be, maybe I'm unaware of it, and that very well could be the case. But I don't think there's been much physicality, so to speak, one with another in a fan situation.
Thrown phones a few years ago. Once upon a time, a fan jumping out to get beat up by a cheerleader. Those would be the ones I remember. And maybe there's been more I don't know about.
But not brawls in the stands. So there's something to be said for that. But there'll always be a level of animosity, and it'll be always over the top. I don't think we'll see what they call suspenders boy that Jake Scott and I literally witnessed at like 5 yards away. We happened to be standing there when that dude was just coming at Bronco. I don't think you'll see a Utah fan come at Kalani because I think as time goes on, like these new batch of Utah students don't remember Kalani was there for many, many years and gave his heart and soul to the program.
Maybe they will be told by their elders, but you're right, they won't remember it.
And I don't know how anybody could go up to Scalley. That's what's going to be fascinating to me, to see Scalley's game demeanor. How's he going to handle that? There's been a lot of off-season stuff about him being a disciple of Jesus and interjecting religion and all that stuff, and that's the way he wants to live his life. I mean, that's obviously his call, and no, I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. But I'm wondering what his sideline demeanor is going to be. Are you going to work the refs? Are you going to do it passionately? Like Kalani, the one year got a personal foul on the stupid, crazy targeting call. I don't know how those guys don't get 10 personal fouls a game myself. Because they just have so much at stake, and it's so emotional to try to keep your cool. That means that you have to restrain yourself. How's he going to be? Because he hasn't had to be the top guy, responsible from everyone. And I told him this story when we were interviewing him a couple days ago. I can remember we were in the stadium, and they were having a scrimmage. And then I always say in those days, which is not that long ago, that you could go and watch it. And you'd stand on the sideline. And so something happened to his defense. And you have to yell because you're on the sideline and they're 25, 30, 40 yards away.
The other side of the field is 53 yards away, right?
Yeah.
And if you're standing at a 35-yard line and something happens, you might be yelling 60 yards downfield and 40 yards across the field.
Plus, there's all sorts of noise going on.
And you and I are both a little touchy about this because we have both been reprimanded harshly. Like, I'm not yelling because I'm mad. I'm yelling to be heard over the wind.
Yeah.
It's a long way away.
Right.
Yes,
right.
but other people don't get that.
One time, he yelled that at somebody on the opposite side, and he came out on the field a little bit, and he was irate. And it wasn't his style. He was doing it, and I swear you could hear a pin drop. Ooh, Scalley is really mad.
I know.
This is unusual.
Yep.
And you also have a little bit of an echo because there's people there, but large
Not
majority
very
of the
many people.
Yeah.
It's mostly concrete,
Right.
and the stadium sounds very different empty
Right.
than it does full.
Right.
Voices carry in that empty stadium to
Yeah.
a shocking degree.
And I can
Yes.
remember it got really silent because, wow, Scalley was mad. Now, you know that he's got a legitimate, he probably told somebody something 3 times, and the 4th time they did it wrong again, and he lost it, right? And so he went, and he really yelled loud. And so I wonder how it's going to be, what his demeanor is going to be on the sideline. That's something I want to watch to see, and how he handles the difficult times that will come. Or even they concocted, Saban with 5 minutes to go up 25 would go nuts.
He was making a point.
Yeah.
He loved to be detail-oriented to a fault, and it paid off for him. Drove people nuts.
So that's going to be just something that right from the very first game, and I think they play, Idaho in the first game or something. And so they're probably not going to be, tested. Arkansas 2-10, probably not. But obviously, once they get into conference, there's going to be games that are going to come down to the wire, and the ball's going to bounce against you. Or call is not going to be something that you agree with. Blah blah blah. How do you handle that? I thought Kyle got better as that went on, but there were times. Obviously, he smacked down the chair in the BYU game a couple years ago in the post game. And then there was one. Remember that game, the conference title game in the 49ers Stadium, the first one against Washington? And they were struggling. They were a backup quarterback, that one kid, I can't even remember his name, who ended up going up to Utah State for a bit. And if I remember, the score was like 10-3, something along those lines. And, I mean, their field goal kicker for Washington sucked, and Peterson wouldn't even try it.
Yep.
And so the game ended on a clear non-pass interference call. And somebody in
the Utes had the ball. Washington committed PI. The refs didn't flag it. It would have put the ball down at like the 25 or something.
Yeah, and
like
first
that.
down, blah,
right,
blah. You never know what would have happened.
Nope.
But that's how the game ended, essentially. Right? And it was clear
And
the kid hit
the game
the
was,
receiver. It might have been Nakua.
And it was 3 hours of frustration in front of that.
Big time.
Cubby had gotten hurt, I think, in that game.
Oh, yeah, he blew out his
knee and came out. And there was so many frustrations.
I was chucking stuff in a press box.
The touchdown was on a deflected pass. Yeah. The receiver slipped and fell, and the ball popped in the air, and defender got a gimme touchdown.
It was just a downer of a game.
It was bad, ugly, totally winnable for both teams.
Right.
And neither one could grab it.
Right. And so it ends like that, and somebody asks him about that call, something along the lines of, would you think that was pass interference? And did you see the play?
I did.
He just bit the kid's head off, the questioner.
Yeah.
But it's an emotional thing. So you get that. It wasn't personal. It's just that he was still fired up because he went right after the ref after that game too, as he should. They lost an opportunity to go to the Rose Bowl.
Yep.
Then they ended up winning 2 more to go to the Rose Bowl.
Didn't know that at the time.
Yeah,
the
you don't
first
know
one
that
would
at
have
the
been
time.
special, and it was right there for the taking.
Yeah.
They had a really good team.
Yeah, because they went 2-2 in Pac-12 title games. I think they lost the next year to Oregon. And Justin Herbert, obviously really good. And then they came back and got SC and Oregon themselves. So, but yeah, that's how he handles everything in moments of crisis, because everybody's going to be looking at him. I don't have any problem when they get emotional, but you can't get too emotional and you can't get over the top, because you got to set the tone for your guys.
Yep. So he's got to figure it all out. And you can't really figure it all out. Some of it will just happen.
Right.
The call happens, and then you feel how you feel, and you say what you say, and you wave your arms the way you wave your arms. This is the way it goes.
And you got to work the refs to a degree. It's required.
If you don't, the other guy does, there's a decent chance the other guy will get more good calls.
Yeah, but you don't want to obsess about it, but you got to work it. It's that line.
Well, we're a month and a half away now.
Yeah, I'm excited for this season. I say this every year, obviously, but I'm super excited for this season.
Well, there's always new storylines, and this year, BYU being either, well, depending on the person you're talking to, they're either a favorite or the favorite. And the Utes have high expectations and a brand new coach for the first time in 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we can get into that. How has it gone for first-time coaches? And everyone will say, well, remember, and like, first-time coaches are all over the map. You don't know. There's just no telling. We can get to that next. Stay with us. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Nobody brings you better coverage of the teams you're passionate about than these guys.
Try some more.
This is DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The KSL Sports Zone and Beehive Meals are honoring people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sports volunteer for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com/contest. Talking a little college football this morning. Morgan Scalley. Anything can happen at the U. Are people hitting you up in the neighborhood for predictions? The Ute fans around the corner? What's it going to be?
I don't talk to anybody in my neighborhood anymore.
Really? You froze them all out? What happened?
They don't like me.
There's
some issues.
They never liked you. They always tolerated you.
So one guy I know he's listening hasn't talked to me since March.
Why? What happened?
Oh, I can't get into it. It's nasty. Very
really?
nasty. Yeah.
Somebody didn't clean up the dandelions and they spread into somebody else's yard, and now there's hard feelings?
Oh, don't get me started.
Okay. I knew it was gardening. It's always at the root of the neighborhood problems. Utes are going to be picked third or fourth in all these preseason things that have either come out or are about to. I think that's going to be pretty consistent. I think there'll be a few exceptions, but that is going to be the heart of where they lie.
There'll be no exceptions. They're not going to be picked fifth.
Oh, sure they are.
No way. No way.
Okay, well, I just got to find one for you now. The quest is on. I have something to do during the next break.
You can look all you want. It's a question of second or third, maybe fourth with Houston. But there's just not any lower than that. No, absolutely not. I refuse to acknowledge it. In fact, even if you find it, I won't even.
You'll totally ignore it?
Yeah. Well, he's a jackwad who did that.
Jackwad.
Yeah. No, not when you got Dampier coming back. I just don't see it. To me, it's not possible. And we're just talking preseason predictions. We're not talking about I'm guaranteeing that they will
we're talking
finish.
about what people are going to say preseason predictions.
That's because that's all two different things there as far as that goes. But I think any combination of the two locals and Houston. Or did I say Houston?
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. And the thing about it here, Texas Tech, they got a lot of Sun Devil in them. Okay, they win 10 games. Willie Fritz is a good interview. Everybody likes him. So Baylor win, 1 score. UCF, 3 points. Arizona State, 1 score. Oklahoma State, everybody kicked the crap out of them. Oregon State, overtime. See where I'm going there? It's tough to repeat that.
Yep.
All those 1-score wins.
They have
overtime wins.
Yeah, they have a way. That kind of stuff evens out over time. You have one group, and they've got the leadership, and they get the confidence and get on a roll, and they pull it off. They got the beat. Thank you, Belinda. But then the next group doesn't have the leadership, drops a close one, and yes. And you see it everywhere. You see it in high school, you see it in college, you see it in the pros. Happened to the Chiefs the last couple of years. 2 years ago, they won all the close games. Last year, just completely unraveled. Couldn't win any of them.
Houston is the new ASU.
The Hammer, John Wilner, Utah, 7th.
He doesn't cover the conference.
This is not a misprint. It's also our most pessimistic outlook for the Utes since the mid-2010s.
He doesn't cover the conference. He's upset that the Pac-12 isn't around anymore. Of course. He would pick that.
He went BYU 1, Houston 2, Texas Tech 3, with Sorsby out.
Yeah, see, Houston. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, Houston's coming off a 10-3 season. I totally get why they'd be picked, and they got a lot of key people back. So
yeah, but did you just hear what I just said? All those close wins?
Games.
It's not going to work out that way.
And they had a break in the schedule away to 10-3.
Houston will be a disappointment this year.
Give me a defined disappointment. 7
One
wins or
which
worse.
you are not happy with the results.
Thanks, Coach.
You
7 wins.
You said
in
define.
relation to Houston football. Thank you.
You said define what disappointment means.
For Houston.
And I defined what disappointment means.
Before I finished my sentence, because you interrupted me
No,
again.
you sat back. You sat back, and then you got mad,
when I laughed.
and then you moved up.
I sat back when I laughed.
Roll back the tape. We got it right there.
It was implied. 7 wins, 8 wins.
7 or 8, sure. That'll be a disappointment. If you're picked second, that's a disappointment. Yeah.
But the Hammer picks him second, and he doesn't cover the conference because he's heard about the Pac-12.
I agree.
Even when they reconstituted, nothing.
And where
nothing for the Bay Area.
Where did he pick Arizona?
Let's see. BYU 1, Houston 2, Tech 3, Oklahoma State 4, Arizona 5.
Yeah, that's low.
He's got ASU 6 and Utah 7. TCU rounds out the top half at number 8.
And where's he got Colorado?
15.
Right.
Speaking of downward trajectories.
The 4 who left, the highest he's got him is 5. And he loves the Cougars because Cougar fans engage with him.
Clicks. I'm relevant.
Now, when I say he loves the Cougars, that's not necessarily I love pumping them. I love writing about them. Because they will engage, good or bad.
5, 6, 7, 15. Look at what he does.
They are passionate, and a good portion of them are sensitive if you say something negative. Yep. You hate us, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. I easily discounted that. Come on. Give me somebody who actually went to a conference game, went to one media day, not some guy in San Jose who's just living in the past. And his foundation was ripped, and he's mad just as mad as I am. I understand his anger.
When we come back, PK and Jake Scott had a beef at the Star in Dallas. And PK ran it by me, and it turns out I agree with PK. And PK's like, well, get Jake on. Look at you getting the two of us to battle. Good work.
No, but you know me. I get a little passionate. You will be more rational, and maybe you could talk sense into him.
What was I going to say to him? I said something earlier, and it made you laugh. And I knew I had to say it to you because I can't remember. I wasn't going to open with what's wrong with you. What was I going to open with?
I think.
What are you thinking?
Are you the stupidest guy we've ever had on air? Something along those lines.
All right, that's next. DJ and PK, stay with us.
This is Utah's best coverage of the Utes, Cougars, Jazz, and Mammoth. Here we go. From the guys who have been there for all the biggest moments in Utah sports history. You're listening to DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ PK, and we are joined now by Jake Scott. You'll hear him 2 o'clock this afternoon right here on The Zone when his show gets going. Jake, good morning. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, that's the stupidest guest you've ever had on the air. It's a real pleasure to be here. Do you guys make it a habit of insulting guests right before you have
we
them
do
on
this.
the air?
No, we do this special for you.
I know. I heard you yesterday, too. So, hey, I know an ambush when I see one. Like Brentford Cole and Appaloosa, no. I'm happy to be here.
No,
good to talk to you both.
That is an oxymoron. If you see it, it's not an ambush. Those two things, that's a logical, it's illogical. It doesn't work. I'm sorry. You have to retract
I think I'm
that.
okay with it, though.
Wow, great point, DJ.
All right, so you got into, here we go. Put the gloves on.
Yeah, that was a little dripping right there.
Yeah. Jake is the most. Jake is the
I was
most.
called stupid.
Jake is the most negative, positive person I know. You are. No, seriously, Jake. You are positive. You are upbeat. You are fun. You're quick to laugh. You have an engaging laugh. We just heard it right there. But at the same time, the cynicism, the cynical nature. I was listening one day to you and Ben, and I can't remember what it was. And I was in my car, and all the other stations were broken. Ben even said something. I can't remember what it was. He said, "I want to give so and so the benefit of the doubt," and right away you're like, "Nope, they did it." And he imitated your voice, and it was spot on. And you're like, "Yeah, I knew it. They were bad. I don't even remember what it was. Somebody screwed up in the world of sports. I think it was a national story. I don't even think it was local. But it was and I was like, yes, because and you did it at the media days. You did it. You had on the. You guys did a really good interview with the guy who runs the college football playoff.
Yeah,
the executive director. And it was your turn to ask a question, and you just the shortest question. And he was talking about who has influence and 12, 16, 24 teams. What are they going to do? What are all the things they're weighing? And you're like, yeah, but what about the media partners? It's the shortest question is like, they have the money, they call the shots. Stop wasting my time.
I only got a couple of questions for that, dude. I had to hit him with it. And by the way, that Ben thing, he was talking about Diana Rossini, and who turned out right on that one.
Yes, that is what it is. You're right. That is what it is.
You know what, DJ? You guys, I've known you both for, 20 whatever years it is now. And when you first met me, I was, I still consider myself at times optimistic. But, I was optimistic. And then, of course, I listened to DJ and PK for 20 years, and I can't help but get beaten down by life.
Yeah, there it is.
It just turned into a cynical realist is what I like to call it. Yeah.
My work here is done.
But you know what? PK and I had it out on the air, and you know what we did? We walked back to the hotel, and then we went to dinner and had a bunch of laughs. It's I love you guys. You know it. Even though you invite me on to try and go out. But that's cool. I'm here for it.
I just want to know why you're so wrong about this. That's all.
Well,
that's all I want to know.
I love how arguments are characterized when one person isn't there.
That might be true. I've had that happen. So here's the deal. For people just join us, because we all know what we're talking about, and everyone else, you and PK are the star, and PK hasn't been able to pick on me for 2 days, so he decides, hey, there's Jake. I'm going to get into it with him. Donovan Mitchell, but it turns out, if PK characterized it correctly, I'm 100% with PK on this.
He thought it was a bad contract. They shouldn't have done it.
You think Cleveland shouldn't have re-signed Donovan Mitchell. PK thinks they should. I think they should. I think they had to. I don't understand how they could not sign Donovan Mitchell. The beating they would take would make what Boston is getting for not signing Jaylen Brown look like nothing.
Yeah.
It looked like a water fight. It looked like nothing.
That's a fair assessment, right, Jake?
Yeah, PK had some nonsense about fans and what the fans
Well, that's what he's saying, the beating. He just said that. The beating.
Okay.
Yeah, but the fans are money.
Right.
I get it. It's fans, and you can't have fans run your organization, but you can have season ticket holders dropping their tickets. And more importantly, you can't have, there it is, the fans who are sponsors of multi-million deals. Like, why are we sinking millions into this team? They were just in the conference finals. Now they're going to slip back into the middle of a mediocre East, which is, I think, what would happen if they didn't have Donovan. And I think, having watched a lot of basketball with you, I think I know why you don't want to give Donovan the money. And I get it, and I would think many of those things right before I gave him all the money. And the out for people like you is sign and trade. You can't not sign him. Now, if you can sign him and trade him, you can get a lot back. If you look at Donovan and say he's too small, he doesn't want to defend some of the time, most of the time, all of the time, And even when he does, if he does want to defend, they switch to bigger guys, and he's got to try to defend some dude who's 6 or 8 inches taller than him. And that's like not how you build a champion. You want to make a trade? Okay, fine. But you can't give him away for 30 cents on the dollar, and you can't let him walk the way Gordon Hayward did, because honestly, sponsors are gone. People in luxury suites are gone. Cleveland has the NFL. Cleveland has Major League Baseball. Cleveland has Ohio State 2 hours down the road, and if you live down the road a little bit, maybe they're only an hour and a half away. So they got to stay relevant. They can't let him walk. I mean, that guy's he's a bucket getter, and you were just in the conference finals with him as your leading scorer. You got to re-up him.
Okay. Well, great characterization of why Donovan's flawed and the situation. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me tell you guys a parable, and I always screw this up, but I think you'd like it. So if I'm telling it wrong, whatever. But so Jesus and Moses were playing golf. Okay, they're out there playing golf, and Moses hits his drive, and it goes a little bit into the rough. And so what Moses does
6'10",
is
yeah, what do you expect?
Moses parts the nearby lake, flooding the course, floating Moses' ball up to the cup, and dropping it in for a hole-in-one.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus looks over at Moses and says, "Hey, are we here to fart around, or are we here to play golf? What is the point? What is the point? Is the point to win a championship and to be the best basketball team in the NBA, or is the point to fart around with a bunch of sponsors? The point is to win. And the point I'm making is that you're not going to win supermaxing Donovan Mitchell. David, it's the contract. It's how big the contract is to the wrong player. I think they should trade him now, let alone extend him. I think they should flip him now. He's not going to get him where they want to go based on all the stuff you just said. Yep. And right now they're in the middle of making a bunch of terrible decisions because they're going to re-up James Harden, and maybe we'll see LeBron sign a minimum deal there, and it's a bad fit, and it's not going anywhere. And once in the NBA, listen, I know PK loves his Dodgers with all his heart, but this is not Major League Baseball. You can't just buy everything. You have to spend your money correctly. This is true in the NBA. This is true in the NFL. So, the Patriots in the NFL got a bunch of pushback for not re-signing a bunch of aging, very popular players. They let guys like Wes Welker go because it was not popular with the fans. I'm sure the beloved sponsors were saying, "Oh, I love Wes Welker." What the Patriots did was they paid the right people and they had the right superstar. Now, again, for all the reasons you're laid out, David James, so eloquently, Donovan Mitchell is not the right superstar. And what have, honestly, the entire league, the Jazz, forever, what are they trying to find? The right superstar and the right way to build around that superstar, period. What are the Lakers, PK's beloved Lakers, what are they doing? They're trying to build around the right superstar. And if you're talking about Supermax, you're talking about 35% of the cap. You're talking about a crazy amount of money and restricting all of your flexibility. So is that player good enough? The answer is no. So you can talk about Quicken loans and putting people in suites, but what's the point? What is the point of what we're talking about? Because I don't care in the slightest about Cleveland Cavalier fans or their sponsors. I'm talking about what is the smart thing for the franchise to do.
Does Donovan Mitchell make their team better or worse? If he leaves, is the team better?
In what term? I mean,
Wins and
now,
losses.
10 years from now, 5 years from now? I mean, who cares about that? The idea
next
is
season.
to win. Hey, PK, the NBA is long-term, man. You got
5 seasons from now.
I disagree. The NBA's never been more short-term. I mean, we're seeing teams go from the lottery to champion in 3 years, and we're seeing champions get knocked out in the first round the very next year. Or the second round, the very next year. I mean, no one can go back-to-back for almost a decade now. Not quite.
Yeah, well,
Or even win multiple, not back-to-back, just win multiple.
The Lakers had LeBron for 8 years, and they sucked for the majority of that 8 years.
But they won one title in 8 years, and nobody won two in 8 years. Nobody won two in 8 years.
I don't count the Mickey Mouse title. Okay. I mean, that's just garbage. In the bubble after 3 months rest, you have a team full of geezers. You take 3 months off.
So they would have been better if they didn't have LeBron James?
Better win.
When they didn't have, when LeBron was there. If take LeBron off, LeBron signed at, I think it was 33 years old. Yeah. So they would have been better off not signing LeBron?
If you want to call Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James.
No, you brought up the Lakers, not us.
And put them in the same conversation as the same type of player.
No, I'm asking with the Lakers. I didn't mention anything about Donovan. Would the Lakers have been better if they didn't sign Donovan or LeBron James?
So they had, so let's say LeBron's the right star at the right price. And I'm not a LeBron guy, but I'll listen to it. Yeah, that's fine. He's one of the greatest ever. Sure. Mm-hmm. You have the right star at the right price. But what do you do around that? Well, LeBron spent money on people like Russell Westbrook that took away all their flexibility, and then they traded all of their picks, and then they couldn't get over the hump because they paid the wrong people, and they didn't have the flexibility, and they didn't think.
Yeah, but that's the nature of every team.
They thought all year to year. Well, you know what? There's a lot of bad teams. Yeah. As the great Steve On Smith Sr. once told me, there's a lot of dumb GMs out there.
Sure.
There's a reason that all these franchises suck all the time because they're horribly run. And so the point is,
who's well run?
Well, the Spurs historically have been pretty well run.
Yeah, and they're going to come up on it in a couple years too. They're going to have to get rid of guys because they're going to give max contracts. You don't want to give max contracts to maybe 2 or 3 players in the league?
Super max, yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And you know what? Donovan ain't one of them. So why would you do it?
Because you make your team worse without him.
I think in this era. In the
short term, bro.
Whatever term.
In this era, I think that I've always said historically there's only 2 or 3 teams going into the season. I'd take 2 or 3 teams and I'll give you the field and I'll win most of the time. But in this era, it's branched out to 6 or 8. I think the Knicks, the current champs, are a great example. Do I think they're an awesome, legendary team? No. I think what you have to do is get into the top 6 or 8 teams and hope things break your way. They were in the easier conference. They had the easier path. They played great basketball and they stayed healthy. And they caught some breaks and they cashed in. And that's what Cleveland's got to do. They've got to find some people who are cheap. To your point, he's getting an enormous percentage of the salary cap. So they got to get people on the cheap. And whether that's draft picks or role guys who fit exactly the right role.
The Knicks got lucky. They beat a crappy Cleveland team whose best player is Donovan Mitchell, who obviously, by Jake Scott's acknowledgement, is highly overrated. And then they got Wemby when he's 22 years old.
Well said about the Cavs.
They were super. I think the
Knicks championship doesn't really count.
It does count.
Hey,
they all count. They all count. I get why people want to rain on the Mickey Mouse title in Orlando, but if the Jazz had won it, nobody would ever say that here. Whoever won it was going to think that was awesome, and everybody else is going to go, Phil was right. That's not a real title. I mean, that's how that always works.
Well, it's not a real title, and that's fine. I don't know what would have happened if the Jazz would have won. Probably cynical me would have said the same thing.
Yeah. Is Joe Gibbs an NFL coaching legend, yes or no?
Well,
just wait for
I'd say more of a NASCAR legend. Right?
You're right, and NASCAR's a great second chapter. But everyone would say, yes, he's an NFL legend. And you know what he did? He won his first 2 Super Bowls in years that one year I think they played 8 games because of labor problems. Another year, they used the scabs, the backups, the rejects, whoever was available for 3 games and counted them and still didn't play a full schedule. And he won that year, and nobody cares in the long run. He's Joe Gibbs. He's a legend. Nobody cares about that.
Oh, awesome, David. Keep going. You're good at this game.
Donovan Mitchell makes the Cavs better. Without Donovan Mitchell, he makes the team worse.
Yep. Okay. It depends on what you can get for him and what you can do with that. I mean, it's moving the pieces around the board.
But who are you going to get for him that's going to make you better?
I don't know. PK, you once clowned me for suggesting the Jazz trade for George Hill. You remember that? I got dragged up and down the radio for
I
forever.
I don't remember that either.
6 months later, they trade for George Hill.
And
George
why?
Hill
He didn't win him anything. What a waste.
So let's go down the trade tracker. What they did for Donovan Mitchell.
I think you have
They some better than Paul George.
I think you've done a good job for taking. You've done a job. Actually, PK should applaud you off the air. I think you have the weaker argument here, Jake.
I bought him dinner.
You're on the road. You're getting it reimbursed. You've got the weaker argument, but you've gone with a strong point that he gets too big a percentage of the cap for what he provides on the floor.
They all do.
That's exactly it. So what becomes a winner in the NBA, what Austin Ainge and everybody over the Jazz has to do, just as the other 29 teams, you're going to overpay your best player. And I think it's easy to argue the Jazz have two players that are overpaid. We can argue 5, 10, 15 million bucks, whatever it is. So you've got to have players who are outperforming their number also, right?
Yeah. Well,
part of the Knicks thing is Jalen Brunson took less money and he outperformed his number. Now, I could argue that Cat did not outperform his number, but they had to pay it because they had to have what Towns provided. They had to have it, and they got it, and they won. And so, did they overpay Towns? Yeah, I think they probably did. But they were able to underpay Brunson. Now, when Brunson wants to be paid next time, I think they're going to be in trouble. But they're going to have to pay it, and they're going to have to find other guys on the roster who outperform their number, and that's why everybody wants a rookie, someone on a rookie deal, because those numbers could be outperformed. They tend to be lower numbers. And the Spurs had guys outperforming their numbers. And so look where they got there. But the Knicks are lucky the Spurs took down the Thunder because the Knicks have a history of not being able to beat the Thunder.
And the Thunder
so you need a break.
2 starters.
And the Thunder, absolutely. The Thunder lost a starter and a key role player. And in a 7-game series, that's just enough for the Spurs to squeak by, which is what the Knicks needed. But I think that's how you win going forward. The thought that you're going to put together a dominant team, pay everybody, and win 2 in a row or 2 in 3 years or 3 and 4 or whatever, what the Warriors and the Spurs and the Lakers have done in the last 25 years. I think these salary cap rules make that hard, so everybody is going to have to overpay somebody and then get a little lucky. I think that's what the last 8 years have been. How else did Toronto win it? They got a little lucky. The Warriors had injuries, and Toronto got one. Good for them.
Yeah, and in the Lakers' case, it took a pandemic and shut it down for 3 months and no travel.
I thought Denver.
The Bucks threatening to leave.
Yep.
Massive protests. That's what it took to get LeBron a title in LA.
I thought Denver had it set up to win multiple, and they've had to pull it apart because of money.
Well, they paid the wrong guy. That's my point. They paid.
But who was the right guy?
Now in Brooklyn,
Who was the right guy?
You know what? Hey, don't fall in love with your own guy. That's cost the Jazz in the past. I brought this up with PK. They fell in love with Larry. Fell in love with Andre Karolinko. They maxed him out. It topped out that team before it even got started. You don't get your arm twisted by the dang sponsors. I can't believe you guys are so concerned about Cleveland's sponsorship team.
Because
it's not your money. I can see why you'd roll that off.
I know. I think all these general managers are sitting there with the owner breathing down their neck, and I think it's in every salary cap league. And
the best general managers ignore that stuff and make the best moves for the basketball team. That's what the best GMs do. So
it takes the owner. It takes the owner that the Warriors had to say, "I'm going to pay that. I'm just going to pay
GMs?
The guy was the owner.
He'll go Sam Presti, and Sam Presti is going to already max deal to Chet Holmgren. It's what they do.
And Sam Presti traded hard because the owner made him, and he broke the last group up before they got going because the money matters, and that's what the owners want.
And don't add the rookie max extension and a super max contract for a veteran are not the same thing. Yeah, they're going to pay the price for that Holmgren contract. I totally agree. And Sam Presti ain't perfect. But people hear max and think it's all the same. It is not. A rookie max extension and a super max contract are not the same
but they're
thing.
all the same in terms of then when it comes available, then you get the steps you go through and how many guys got the rookie max, then follow it up with
the super max.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you got to get there first.
Right. And they will get there and they will pay it.
That's totally beside the point. Yes, I know the process. Thank you. But of what financial flexibility it leaves you and makes it a bigger or not so big mistake.
Right, and
That's
then
what
let's
we're
wait
talking
until
about.
Holmgren is ready, and then that is the point. And all these guys who get the super max or even the rookie max, they're way overinflated. But that's the system that sets up. That's the what.
The rookie max, you're paying on potential. Super max, you better be paying a player that's going to get you there.
Yeah,
but the thing is,
no guarantee in this.
But now we're back where we started with Boston, because those two guys in Boston have done it. Well, they're not in Boston together anymore, but Tatum and Brown did it. They won the title, and not only that, they made another final, and they were in conference finals a bunch of times. I mean, they made that ownership group, which is now sold, a ton of money, but there's really no way out here, and I think that's part of the reason the Celtics sold. Let's sell high. The only way forward is backwards. It's horrific. We don't want to do it. So they sold. And now the new owners, and to your point, to pay two guys that much money and to pay them, what was it going to be, like 70 or 75% of the cap or something? They're not going to be able to put a team around him. So now the Celtics are getting annihilated for trading Brown, but they had to.
They better get you the title. So the Lakers made a bad decision in signing the guy who many people believe is the GOAT, but he didn't get him a title that counted.
No, again, you're not following. He could have been the right superstar. They paid the wrong guys around him, and they got rid of all their flexibility because they thought nothing but short-term. Nothing but short-term bad moves, which the Jazz, by the way, benefited from multiple times, because a desperate team was desperate to please LeBron and made a bunch of stupid errors.
So funny, actually.
You got to have the right superstar, and you got to put the right right people around.
I wish we all had crystal balls then, because then it would be so easy to figure that out then, but it's not.
That's why this is hard. That's why the NBA is hard.
No,
that's why they make millions of dollars.
It's not.
That's
It's impossible. We're grading front offices against a standard that's no longer possible because of the way the collective bargaining agreement is written. If 0 people can win 2 titles in 8 years and 8 different people win 1, and then we dismiss each of the 8 for being lucky or being stupid for not winning 2, maybe it's just flat out impossible, and you got to reset the standard, because the rules now are different than the rules when the Spurs won 5 or when the Lakers won 3 in a row. The contracts are shorter, and the possibility to pay a player a lot of money is much bigger. And that can put a roster out of whack and make it really hard to / impossible to win a second title. So if we just dismiss one as luck and that's all you can have, then everybody's idiots. Well, I don't think everybody suddenly became idiots.
Well, prayers up for Cleveland sponsorship team. I hope everything goes well for them.
Well, at least if you don't win at all, make money, huh? Sounds pretty good to me.
And have fun along the way.
I hope they succeed. Their bottom line looks good. It's my number one worry in life.
Just like the Jazz. They didn't win anything. What the hell did they sign Malone for? They didn't win anything.
And the Stockton guy, too, for that matter.
Yeah.
And why'd they trade for Hornacek? What was the point?
Trying to win.
Right.
Didn't get there. Trying to win.
Yep. Well, that's what Cleveland's doing. And I'm with you. I wouldn't pick them to win either. But guess what? I didn't pick the Knicks either. I'm accepting that it looks different here. And it's looked different for about 8 years now. It's a new trend, and we need to catch on to it. All right, Jake.
Good times. We'll see how it goes for him.
Jake, I hope we got you wherever you were going.
Way.
Wait, what?
You're a good sport either way.
Oh, no, I love coming on with you guys. I love you guys. It was the worst 2 years of my life producing your show.
Wait, that doesn't line up. Alex is in there. What am I getting into?
In this community, you're supposed to say it's the best 2 years of your life.
Oh, man, no. It had nothing to do with you two guys. It had everything to do with, I was, 23 right out of college, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning with 3 roommates that weren't going to bed until 4 o'clock in the morning. It wasn't ideal.
Nice. All right, Jake, we'll hear you today at 2 o'clock right here on The Zone. Thank you.
All right. See you, fellas.
All right, there's Jake Scott. He'd be a tough boss, man. He'd be drawing a line in the sand. His sponsorship team would be sitting over there going, no
max for you.
Don't do it, boss.
Donovan's not going to lead you to a title, but what are they going to do?
I know. They're stuck. I mean, I think the way out is now you've got to find inexpensive talent that fills the gaps as best as possible. And that's That's the real art, and everybody who's winning has those guys who are outperforming their contract. And the guy who's not going to outperform his contract is the star. All right, DJ and PK, when we come back, we're giving away a Lush flag blanket from Minky Couture, celebrating America's 250th birthday. We'll do that next and get you caught up on everything you missed in this show. Stay with us.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast! An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
For all of you, less motivated listeners, it's time for your 9 o'clock. Where the heck have you been headlines?
Where you at?
With DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Caller 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE, wins a Lush flag blanket celebrating America's 250th birthday. Size to match a standard American flag. It also includes an exclusive America 250 Minky Couture label created to commemorate the nation's semi-quincentennial celebration. Call right now if you want to win. Caller 12, 801-575-ZONE. All right, it's time for Slacker Radio Headlines, brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary at 1-855-TRAJAN-1, or visit their website at TrajanWealth.com. We have talked a lot of Utah Jazz basketball this morning. DP just played the worst of his 3 Summer League games, PK, and it wasn't very close. A lot of stars there, a lot of NBA players there. ESPN had the game at 7 o'clock. A lot of hype to watch the top 2 draft picks. Neither one shot the ball well. AJ Dybantsa, 7 of 18. Peterson, 6 of 18.
I don't see. I thought Dybantsa shot the ball well because he's not a three-point shooter. So
you're going to rule out those 5 empty possessions? Might as well be turnovers?
Yeah.
Maybe you get an offensive rebound. You don't care.
No.
What he showed is that once again, he can get to the rim against a defense that is focused on stopping him getting to the rim. I thought that it wasn't, as you might expect in Summer League, it was nothing close to the regular season. The ball doesn't move. There was a lot of one-on-one. There was a lot of those 2 guys showing what they could do, not just their 36 shots, but all the free throws they shot. And then they're out of the game a decent amount of time, too. There wasn't a whole lot of playing away from the ball for either one of those guys. A little bit for Peterson. A little bit for Dybantsa, but not much.
All struggles now are good for Darryn Peterson.
It's time to learn. This is it. Yeah. Can he handle the ball? Game 1, no. Game 2, yes. Game 3, no.
As hungry as you can be.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to come just so easy for him. That's not the natural line of progression.
And it hints that it might be fool's gold.
Yeah, but his talent is still very much apparent. And he'll be just fine. And then when he gets with the team, how is he going to mesh? I think what we'll see now at the start is a lot different Darryn Peterson when the games start.
Yep. They're back in action Sunday. That game will be on Amazon Prime Video Sunday night.
And I'm going to buy Amazon Prime Video.
There you go.
And I'm going to use your credit card to put it on there.
Awesome.
Yeah, you left it in here one day.
Thief.
Well, it's just for work. You want me to be informed, don't you?
We also talked with Jake Scott just in the last segment about Donovan Mitchell, and neither one of us used the best example we had in our argument, PK. He says don't sign Donovan. Well, you can't just let him walk as a free agent. You got to trade him. But if you let someone go like that when they're still in their prime, you're the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, Luka Doncic being out of shape, that's not really debatable. He's absolutely been out of shape. We can see it. And he's not a good defensive player. We can absolutely see it. Now, he got his team to the final, not to the conference final. So he's done more. But, man, when Dallas traded him, that got the GM fired. Because the GM didn't think they could win a title with Luka Doncic. You got to re-up him and try to figure it out. And when you trade him, you can't let him walk. You have to trade him. When you trade him, you have to get value for him. And that is very difficult to do. The Celtics are getting beat up for not getting value. Plenty of people pointed out, well, the Jazz got about for Walker Kessler. Well, actually, they got more than the Celtics got by a little bit. And obviously, Jaylen Brown's a more accomplished player than Walker Kessler.
You see, you have to see eventually you have to have players. If you get 5 picks and I get 6, I didn't get more.
Yes, you got more picks. How you use them will matter. I granted.
That is 100% matters.
And that's whether you draft them. How good a player do you draft?
Yeah.
Do you trade them?
Right.
Who do you get?
And the Mavericks absolutely got value. They got Cooper Flagg. They don't get Cooper Flagg without trading Doncic.
Yeah, that argument doesn't save anybody their job. That's a good argument for sports radio, but that doesn't save you your job.
I don't care whether he lost his job or not. What difference does that matter to me?
You would if you were the GM
but
making
I'm not.
the decision.
Hence, I don't care. The Mavericks got a player that they desperately needed, and they wouldn't have gotten him if they had Doncic. Simple as that.
They would have been a playoff team, so they wouldn't have been in the lottery.
So they got value for him. And you could say, oh, well, you didn't know. The Jazz spent 4 friggin' years losing to get a top pick.
Finally happened.
So they didn't know, but yet they did it for somehow. When the Jazz do it for 4 years, it's okay. But when Dallas did it for 1 year, oh, that doesn't count. Come on.
Got to have your ownership on board. Nico didn't.
That's up to them. I don't Nico who? I have no idea who Nico is.
Yes, you do.
If Nico walked right in this door, I would not know who he is.
You would when I said, I can't believe Nico just walked in the door. Because I know who he is.
Good for you.
His face was on TV
clue.
a bazillion times.
No clue. Is he black? Is he white? No idea. Hispanic? No idea. No, literally no. Doesn't matter to me. I worry about what goes on the court. They did what they had to do, and they got, obviously to you, they must have gotten ripped because the guy got fired. But yet they ended up with Cooper Flagg. Wouldn't you make that trade every time? I would.
Got Nico fired.
The question, Your Honor, was would you make that trade right now, today? Would you rather have Cooper Flagg or Luka Doncic? I'd rather have Cooper Flagg.
I'd rather have Luka Doncic and my job than Cooper Flagg and get fired. And I think that's how most general managers would answer that question. I'm going to do the right thing for the club and get me fired.
So he's going to be I'm going to see him out at the park. I need food.
He's going to walk in the studio.
Right, no, because he'll get another job somewhere. These guys get fired left and right. Thibodeau got fired. Who doesn't get fired? Bronco once, he hired a couple of guys who got fired. Somebody asked him. He said, if I didn't hire guys who got fired, I'd have nobody here coaching. Got fired. Fired there is not the traumatic experience of you having your contract not be renewed in Sacramento. It couldn't be more different. These guys, they're all going to get, or they're going to move on. One way or the other. Yeah, fired. I'd rather have Cooper Flagg. The franchise is a better spot now with Cooper Flagg than Luka Doncic.
Jordan Clarkson back to the Knicks on a 1-year minimum deal worth $3.9 million. And teams are sending recruiting voice notes to LeBron James via Rich Paul. So secretive. Pum, pum, pum. Where will he sign? Cleveland? Be fun if he signed Cleveland because Donovan's back.
Cuz?
Cuz, as in because.
I think he helps their team in the short term. Apparently, it was a horrible signing by the Lakers.
That's just according to Jake.
Name me one Supermax contract that worked. There can't be that many.
Yeah, they're relatively new, so this whole, there's not a huge sample size to point out it worked.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That means you can't name one.
No, I'm not going to name one. No, name one. I mean, the team that just won without the Supermax. Brunson taking less was massive for them. Huge. Enabled them to get a couple more role players that pushed them over the top.
I think he pushed them over the top.
Anything else you want to tell the people? We had Pablo Mastroeni on, wherever you want to hear that conversation. He talked a little World Cup, what went wrong for the U.S., player development. He's got a very specific life story that leads to a specific view of how things need to happen if the U.S. is ever going to get better. And he talked about RSL returning to action They got a little tune-up Wednesday, and then a week for Wednesday, they're back in MLS play. They are going to get better,
but they're never going to win it.
Yeah.
I got bad news for you.
Ever?
Yeah.
Or at least not until after we're dead. Dead and gone.
It's just, you guys can pump up soccer as much as you want. Go ahead. But the best athletes don't play it. It's as simple as that. Where in Argentina, that's what you aspire to.
But even if we had a Messi, would we find him?
I get your point, and that's an outstanding point. That's probably the most important point of all this discussion
because
is
Messi,
right there.
Messi isn't big enough to play in the NFL. He's not big enough to play in the NBA. Soccer is the sport for somebody his size. Even baseball. Back in the day, he could have been a light-hitting athletic shortstop. And now they want to.
There's some small dudes who are really good in baseball.
There are a few, and the Astros have had one of them.
Oh, I think there's a bunch.
Yeah. But a lot of the small dudes can't hit for power. And so people want
bigger guys. You got to be good enough.
Yeah. The league has both leagues. Major League Baseball has moved towards bigger dudes.
There
are some exceptions.
I think it's more pitching.
Well, they've definitely done that at pitching, too.
Because somehow maybe you could throw the ball harder. I don't know.
All right, DJ and PK, get Pablo wherever you get your podcasts. KSLSports.com, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, whatever you want. DJ and PK, when we come back, your feedback next. Stay with us.
And it's all over almost here.
Don't go nowhere.
And now, enough of us. It's time to hear from you. From all your texts, tweets, and posts. This is the best feedback of the day.
Woo! Oh, I was there. It's the best game of my life.
With DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It is time for your feedback. Hey, the Copper Rock Championship giveaway starts next week. You ready for another major championship, PK?
Yeah, I'll see if I can repeat.
Copper Rock Open Championship giveaway starts next week. One lucky winner will receive a Copper Rock branded polo, outerwear piece, hat, and a $100 gas gift card. Starting Monday, the KSL Sports Zone will pair the top 25 players with a qualifier, and one will get the remaining field. Be caller 12 when asked, and you'll be assigned a player in the field at the PGA Championship next week. Copper Rock, where the pros play.
That's true. I've played it.
And?
I'm not a pro.
How'd that work out for you?
That's a fun course, though. A lot of fun.
All right, time for your feedback. What do you have to say about today's show? A.J. Dybantsa looked better than Darryn Peterson in the Summer League game. What did you think? Denton, impossible. I was told the Wizards blew it by not drafting DP, and DP was going to be a first ballot guy after 2 Summer League games. To which OG Orange said, calm down, BYU fanboy. See, we don't even have to wait for football to the rivalry to start, PK. The rivalry swirls around a random Summer League game in Las Vegas.
Random? They've been highlighting this and pumping it up for weeks.
Yeah, it's true. But all Summer League games are random. But of the Summer League games, this is the least random. You're right.
I agree with you. In the scope of things, they are random. I don't remember John Stockton's first Summer League game.
Kyle, AJ did look better, but he's a below-average shooter and a foul baiter. Give me Peterson every day.
Go Jazz.
Hey, here's the other thing. A foul baiter, you say that like it's a bad thing. If you're going to win, you better have people going to the free throw line a lot. That's what the best players do. When were the Jazz at their best?
When they had the best players.
Yes. And who were those players? Karl Malone, MVP. And when he retired, who had shot the most free throws in the history of the NBA? Karl Malone.
I think that Dybantsa, with his skill level and his ability to stride and his height and his length and his reach, he's going to get fouled a lot. Because he's not a shooter. And he's going to look for the smallest of crease and finesse his body in there, and guys are going to hit him. So I don't know that I would call him a foul baiter as I would just a foul attractor.
Well, probably both.
His style.
Yes. I mean,
but I don't think at his age he's thinking in the summer league, oh, I'm going to convince these referees to blow the whistle. I think his style is what it is.
I would say that right now, but he will learn to flop. Everybody in the NBA does.
And that's the point.
Yeah.
Right now.
But now he has not maximized his floppage by a long shot.
He will figure out what is being called and what isn't being called and what he's allowed to do that gets him to the line. Yes, I totally agree with that.
But people who drive to the hoop get to shoot more free throws than people who shoot threes. Not that three-point shooters don't get fouled. They do, and it gets called, but you shoot more. And he's also going to get fouled more because he drives against defenses that are packed in there because, at least for right now, and maybe forever, but at least for right now, nobody expects him to shoot the three. So they're dropping off and packing it in, and he's
slithery.
He does. And they're going to reach for the ball, and they're going to foul him.
Right.
It's going to happen. You're right. Matt, the Summer League foul shooting rules, I think, are a double-edged sword. It speeds up the game, but it pads everyone's stat line.
I don't think they're going to do it. It's a meaningless game, and so this is like a minor league baseball thing. You try it out.
They've literally had it in the G League, and now they're here. It's exactly a minor league baseball thing. Yeah,
I wouldn't want it.
I wouldn't either. I'm with you. It doesn't speed up the game enough. It does mess with stuff. And I think the other foul rules, that having 10 fouls just leads to more fouls, which makes the game harder to watch.
Because if they ever want it again, it goes back to money. If you want to speed it up, have fewer media timeouts. But that's money.
Stop it. Stop it.
Pressure free throws. Now they're talking about they don't do it in the last 2 minutes anyway, but pressure free throws are fun because that's when you find out who really has it.
Donovan Mitchell-Stan. People forget how good AJ is. He's a better ball handler and passer than DP at 6'10". Neither guy overcame a weakness last night. AJ didn't shoot it, and DP couldn't handle the ball pressure and had a bunch of turnovers. Donovan Mitchell-Stan. Laying down the law on the new guys. You're still turning it over, and you're still missing threes.
Okay, yeah.
Which is
true. He's going to miss threes.
Which is true, but that comes back to the old argument. Should we look at what players can't do, or should we be looking at what players can do?
I think with A.J. Dybantsa, you draft him knowing full well, so if you expect something, then that's your fault. He can get better. He can be more consistent, sure. But I think that for Darryn Peterson, that's what he's going to need to do to be a high-level player. And he basically said that he didn't do it at Kansas, so essentially this past season was a waste of time. He didn't have an opportunity to get better. Now get better at it. And you got all these Jazz coaches, there's 100 of them, and they'll figure out, is he good enough? Put him in position. He's just barely getting started.
This goes right to what we were talking about with Pablo, and it's a perfect analysis of the NBA. Pablo was saying, there's coaches who want to win, there's parents who want to win, but the players need development. What Darryn Peterson needed to get better and prepare for the NBA was to have the ball in college against a higher level of competition, against better athletes, and learn to play the point. And he didn't get to do it. But Bill Self isn't getting paid to develop someone for the NBA. He's getting paid to win games. So play him off the ball.
I think there's a 1 and not a 1 and a 1B, but a 1 and maybe a 5. You want to have NBA players. That's why they go there in the first place. That's what Kevin Young is selling.
Yep. And it's certainly what Calipari has sold. So for Dybantsa, he doesn't have to be great, but 0 for 5 from 3, really not what he's looking for. And Peterson wasn't great at 2 of 7 either. All right, we're out of time. Scotty G and the coach Tim LaCombe are coming up next. Stay with us.
Party time!
You have a great weekend, okay, buddy?